All right, good morning and welcome to the AM show for today. God has opened our doors and we've met again to, continue the things we were supposed to have done that we couldn't do yesterday. But as we say, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. Because you know what? You are you today, and that is true. And you can only be you yourself tomorrow than anyone else. Because when God gives you life, there's a reason why He has opened your door. So ask and find out why God has opened that door and live to accomplish that. Welcome again to the AM show, wherever you are. Thanks for making us part of your beautiful morning. Now, we start the show with the AM news, and then we jump to the AM sports, where we give you update on what's happening from the world of sports. After that, we'll bring you the newspaper review, where we talk to you about what the papers will be reporting. Today, we'll be joined by Dr. Kwame Asante. He is Head Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. Also, Dr. Jabir Mohammed, a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Dr. Pakwesi Edwafol Abedu is a development analyst. He also takes a seat on that particular segment. And then we move on to our big stories for today. You know what? As government announced earlier that it will be implementing a 1 Ghana cedis fuel levy, it begins today as part of measures to generate revenue for the energy sector and address arrears within the value chain. This morning, we engaged the GRA to understand their level of preparedness, the systems in place to ensure compliance, and most importantly, the projected revenue expectations from this policy. Of course, we won't leave you out. We want to understand from you what you do make of this particular policy. Again, on the big stories, the Institute of Democratic Governance and the Civic Forum Initiative expresses worry over what they describe as dangerous parting of electoral violence and impunity that continues to threaten the integrity of Ghana's democratic process and calls for a ban on all forms of vigilantism. We'll hear from them. And as we prepare for the Akwatia by-election, why this call is very important. We'll situate it in that particular context. Join us with your thoughts and comment by phone and all our social media handles. Stay tuned. My name is Samuel Kojo Braze, and I do this with MFA Adeti. The AM show is proudly sponsored by Whaley Properties, and we provide you quality housing at affordable cost and with flexible payment options. Why would you take that opportunity and own that dream house of yours in the capital, Accra? Good morning, and let's do our best to help Mother Ghana. Stay on. All right, let's begin with the AM news. And Majority Leader Mahama Yariga is making a desperate appeal to the Asante Kotoko said to the second to expedite action on the Bawku peace talks after tensions in the conflict-torn enclave continue to claim lives. At least 6 persons have been killed in Bawku, allegedly by military operatives who were conducting an operation in the area. Speaking at a news conference in Parliament, the Majority Leader called on the Asante to help restore calm.
For where he has reached, what he has done, he's the only person who can tell publicly what he has done, where he has reached, and you can assess the performance at that level. Ours is, we are appealing to him, to expedite action. And we know it's a complicated matter, but we all have confidence in him and his ability to bring an end to the situation. And the earlier, the better for all of us. And that is why the MPs are appealing to him to expedite action.
Meanwhile, the majority in Parliament have confirmed that 6 persons were killed and more than 20 others injured by the military during an operation in Bawku on Sunday. Lydia Akamvariba is MP for Tempani.
Afternoon of Sunday, 13 July 2025, ostensibly in response to an attack by unknown gunmen on a vehicle and military escort military personnel in Bawku went on rampage and murdered 6 people, maimed more than 20 others, and caused huge destruction to the property of citizens in Bawku. Some of them looted the shops of the people and made away with huge sums of money. What was the point in the destruction of the statue of our overlord? What security threat did the statue pose, and what threat does the destruction solve? It takes an act as such to insult to the Kusal people and to reject same.
Well, away from that, artisanal fishermen in Elmina are pushing back against industrial trawlers, accusing them of encroaching on the 15 to 30 nautical mile zone, which they say offer safer conditions and better catches than the heavily exploited 6 nautical mile zone. According to the fishermen, although Parliament has already passed legislation reserving the 15 to 30 nautical mile, industrial trawlers are challenging the law, urging government to amend it. They are appealing to the government, the Fisheries Ministry, parliamentarians, and the Fisheries Commission to consider the huge number of small-scale fishers and maintain the existing law.
Yewo Ghana, yewo industrial trawlers, and yewo local artisanal fishermen.
We have industrial trawlers and local artisanal fishermen in Ghana. Initially, we only covered 6 nautical miles when fishing, which is equivalent to 15 miles. But recently, we had a meeting with government where we discussed how industrial trawlers encroach the mileage of us artisanal fishermen, which doesn't help us.
Oye boat akase no we won ho ba baby a oye artisan fishermen wo ye adwuma no obandam so a omboa hen efadom no ye adwuma ye den yelizi.
The Fisheries Commission decided to increase it from the 15 to 30 nautical miles, which is equivalent to 6 to 12 nautical miles.
100 out of 10, 90. It's 90%, no. Yeah, interest in there. Government obey yardina 15, no that 30. It is from 6 to 12 and they support abano yagitum and kwafune sambia what about to be on
90% of us fisher folks are interested in this increase and support it. If government considers what the industrial trawlers want, they will intrude in the areas of artisanal fishermen, and that will lead to chaos and affect the peace in the country.
The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts and the Minister Abla Jifa Gomashi has pledged to intervene in Ghana's struggling car rental sector. The Car Rental Association of Ghana says the industry, which plays a vital role in tourism, is deteriorating and in urgent need of government support. There's more in this report.
Following a recent report by the tourism industry indicating that most tourists visiting Ghana have raised concerns about services such as accommodation, transportation and the cost of food, the Car Rental Association of Ghana has also expressed dissatisfaction with the poor state of the sector. Addressing their concerns to the tourism minister, the president of the association, Michael Sapon, described the current state of the industry as one facing an operational deficit.
The current state of our Ghana car rental sector stands at a critical juncture. Strategic modernization can boost tourism, safety and economic growth. The sector has faced operational deficiencies, weak regulations, fraud and unsafe vehicles, poor driving standard, high accident rates, outdated polluting fleets, and also fraud risk.
The president also outlined key interventions they are requesting from the ministry to boost the sector, with particular emphasis on introducing import duty waivers for electric vehicles.
We realize that the whole world is changing to green world, and Ghana cannot be exempt. So being the car renter of Ghana, we tend to drive the tourists around the country. And most of the tourists who comes to this country, most of them are using electric cars in their countries, and they prefer to come here too and use electric cars here.
In response, Sector Minister Jifa Gomashi assured that she will work closely with all relevant agencies to tackle the challenges facing the sector and find lasting solutions.
On the matter of the e-vehicle, I don't know how it's going to be done, but I will write to the Minister for Transport and ask what they are doing in that space. You mentioned also that ID cards, certification, and all of that. This will fall in the lap of GTA, I think, and also National Identification Authority. I will urge Chief Director that we take that up and find out how this can be done to assist them. And of course, DVLA. DVLA has a huge role to play in this.
With assurance from the Minister, the Car Rental Association of Ghana remains hopeful of meaningful reforms and a robust improvement in the sector. For Joy News, Maxwell and Majid's report, read to you.
Away from that, President John Dramani Mahama has ordered the immediate arrest and prosecution of individuals posing as members of anti-Galamsey task force who reportedly are extorting money from legitimate small-scale mining companies. Speaking during his thank you tour of the Western North region, President Mahama described illegal mining as a national emergency, warning that criminal elements hiding behind state operations will not be tolerated.
But we are alarmed by the environmental destruction that is reported across Awaso, Dadieso, and Sefia and Rianso, mainly due to illegal mining. I must be honest, this is a national emergency. The National Task Force will continue its efforts to halt illegal mining in our forest reserves and on our water bodies. I've also noted the activities of illegal anti-Galamsey task forces that go around extorting money from legitimate small-scale mining companies. I've requested that the authorities arrest and prosecute any individuals involved in this illegal anti-Galamsey activity. In addition, we are establishing a forward operating base of the Ghana Armed Forces in Ponikrum, as requested by Nananum, to respond swiftly to security threats and border-related crimes. Peace is a precondition for development.
The president also reiterated his government's commitment to ensure that cocoa farmers receive at least 70% of the world market price, stressing the need to reward farmers fairly for their hard work and contribution to the economy.
And so let me be clear today, we will ensure our commitment to pay our farmers 70% of the world market price of cocoa. The sweat of our cocoa farmers deserves dignity and a fair reward. We've also restructured the cocoa rehabilitation program, especially in Bia and Dwabosu areas, where swollen shoots and old trees have drastically reduced cocoa yields. And under the new leadership of the Ghana Cocoa Board, they will prioritize the distribution of improved seeds, regular extension support, and proper compensation for rehabilitated cocoa farms.
Let's do some NSMQ stories. Two schools have pulled out of the Northern Regional Qualifiers, one grieving the tragic loss of a contestant and the other reportedly unwilling to face zonal champions, Ghana SHS. But the real twist came from Kapolhini SHS, who defied the odds and stunned Ghana SHS in a tense showdown. Collins Frimpong was there and has more in this report.
The school many feared, forcing Pong Tamale SHS to withdraw from their contest and Tamale Girls' SHS to decline competing them fell short to Kaupohini by 2 points. Kaupohini came through the back door after they secured 30 points in their contest as the school with the highest points after Tamale Girls' SHS in yesterday's contest. Ghana SHS's painful defeat means they will miss the national championship for the first time in their history, while Kaupohini returns after 2 years of missing out.
Very great. Very great. The guys thought they could have slaughtered us, but my friend, we are not here to joke. Look at my face. Like I could have killed a lot of people. Yesterday, you people had 30 points, you couldn't qualify. Yesterday's contest was mismanagement. We went into the contest, but we made a mistake. But today, we came and showed them the true actual being of being a Kaliskan. Kaliskans, we are not here to joke. Discipline and hard work. Ghana school, where are they?
This opportunity because we
Were you afraid? Were you afraid when you heard that you are going to compete Ghana Senior High?
A little bit because we know them. We know them a little bit. We're a little bit afraid, but by the grace of God, we have done it.
Yendi SHS, through an intense emotional battle, secured the next available spot over Savilugu SHS with just a point.
I'm crying because of what the way they lead us at first. Lead them for round 1 and round 2. So when it gets to the 2 of us, they got ahead of us.
Winning the whole contest, and this is not the first time that your school is making it. They've been there last year, they were there. So it feels like qualifying is not something special that warrants you crying.
I don't know. I myself don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying, seriously.
Right. The last contest for the Northern region had Toulon, Tamale Presbyterian SHS and Business SHS, with Business SHS successfully taking a revenge on Toulon.
We actually came for a revenge because what they did to us last year we weren't happy with it. So we said we came here today purposely to disgrace them. Yeah.
Which school?
Toulon. Last year they defeated us by 1 point, so we came this year just as a revenge. So we proved them, and we pray that next year we meet them again, and we do the same to them.
Because last year, Toulon Senior High School beat us with just a point, and even at the end of the contest, they didn't even knew that they won the team. That was the most surprising thing. That day, only God knew our sorrow, and we are back to take revenge on them on this very day. Oh Allah, we are forever grateful.
Reporting for Joy News, I am Collins Frimpong. Reporting for Joy News.
Well, a school with no general science course has defied the odds to make history. Accra SHTS, after 3 failed attempts, has finally qualified for both the Eastern Regional and National Championship of the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz. First in the school's history. Adibia Sari has been there and has this story.
9 meters per second square. No.
Day 2 of the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz Eastern Regional qualifiers saw 20 schools fiercely contesting for a place in the next stage, but only 7 could make it. Across Senior High Technical School, a school that does not even read general science, made history today by winning their contest and qualifying for the next stage.
We did not expect this at all. In fact, I'm so surprised. I'm short of words. A purely technical school, we don't even offer science officially as a program. We don't. It's just a headmaster who came in and told us that we need to participate in the maths and science quiz. So how do we start? We don't have science students in the first place. So in our first content, our first participation in the regionals, we have to use 1 tech and 1 home economics student. You see that? So subsequent to that, we decided that when the Form 1s come, we'll go to the classrooms, ask the Form 1s who will be interested in maths and science quiz. So we get those students, put them in their grade class, and then we start training them in the science electives.
Earlier in the day, Borteyman and Yellow Krobo gave fans a tight contest. Opas, represented by a set of twins, led in the first round, only to be overtaken by Yellow Krobo in subsequent rounds, who emerged winners with 47 points. Borteyman has, however, qualified with 41 points. Gotia Presby also qualified after defeating St. Rose's and have a message for their opponents.
My boys here are overexcited. I'm also overexcited. Yes. Be expecting more from us. Be expecting more from us.
In contest 3, only one school made it through, and that's Kwewutafo SHS. They dominated in all 4 rounds and emerged winner, qualifying to the regional and national championship. The final contest of the day ended with Borteyman Senior High securing the highest score of the day, 56 points, after leading in all rounds. Their closest contender, Abomuso Senior High School, also qualified with 45 points. For the 7 schools that made it through, the journey to the national stage has only begun, and for those who are unable to make it, there's always another shot. The competition is tough, but the passion is even tougher. For Joy News, my name is Adobe Asari.
Let's do business updates now, and we have to start from what's happening on the currency market. Well, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, is calling on government to reconsider and reduce some of the existing taxes on petroleum products as it prepares to implement the 1 cedi levy on every litre of petrol and diesel starting today, July 16. COPEC is also predicting that price of petroleum products will increase by about 8% at the pumps from today. Speaking to Joy Business, Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, emphasized that scaling down current taxes is necessary to cushion consumers.
I don't foresee any of the oil marketing companies wait even an hour past midnight tonight, because any product that will be picked from this midnight per the GRA directive would attract the 1 Ghana cedi levy. And I know for a fact that none of the OMCs would want to shelve this 1 Ghana cedi, and offset it anyway anyhow. So I am certain that by midday tomorrow, most of them would have adjusted their pumps already, because clearly GRA will be on their necks. Clearly they would need the money to be able to offset their tax liabilities with the state. And so, unlike in previous instances where prices declined and it takes them 2 days, 3 days sometimes for it to reflect, we are likely to see these adjustments reflect by 6 a.m. tomorrow across most of the OMCs. There's a tax component on petrol that clearly can be scaled down. It's called the UPPF, which is the fund used to pay for the transporters that move product across the country. What they are being paid is about 45 pesos. Yet the UPPF fund is collecting almost 90 pesos a litre. There are some inbuilt taxes in there that is going into individual pockets. We want the government to pursue that and ensure that whatever monies that is not coming to the state is not, helping the consumer. They take it off so that the 1 Ghana cedi can be accommodated reasonably. Anything other than this, I foresee a situation where in the future, if international market prices do go up, the public could be up in arms against the 1 Ghana cedi. But in the interim, the price build-up gives us an indication of what we could do to come down further on prices so that the consumer does not even feel the full brunt of the 1 Ghana cedi levy in force tomorrow. Well,
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Siama, has promised that the central bank will in the coming weeks be taking some drastic measures to halt dollarization of the Ghanaian economy. He maintains that central bank will take more measures to prioritize the use of the cedi in the economy. Dr. Siama made this known at the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting.
The more value we keep within Ghana, the stronger the cedi becomes. And the more sustainable our macroeconomic trajectory, therefore. And so we want to encourage everyone. Let us embrace the local currency. If you go to South Africa, you have no choice but to use what? The rand. You go to Kenya, you use the shilling. We call it an endogenous variable. It is because everybody is running away from it. Everybody is taking, investment decisions to avoid the cedi, and therefore the cedi will be weak. But if we re-engineer our thoughts, and if we recalibrate how we form our projections about the cedi, I believe the cedi can be as good as any other currency out there.
And we have to end with what's happening on the commodities market on the business update. That's all for in business update, and that's all actually in the AM news. Muftau Nabila is here to bring you the AM sport. Muftau, so what's coming up in sports?
In sports this morning, the atmosphere that always surrounds the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, which is the visitation of the various companies, has started. And guess the atmosphere we got from Axis Pension. Quite an incredible one. And then, in fact, Magda also says that his team, they've started training in Toko ahead of the event on August 9th. So we've got
but I'd love to play for Magdan.
You want to play for Magdan?
Yes, yes.
Do you work for a Magdan group?
They should come and hire me. I'm a good player.
We want to hire you for a multimedia group. We've got this and many more, including Newcastle United telling Liverpool that Isaac is not for sale. We've got this and many more here. Good morning, everyone. Once again, welcome to AM Sports. Here with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. The Joy Sports Invitational Company visitation has kick-started. And guess what? The atmosphere that always surrounds this event is the bragging of the various institutions that have signed up for the tournament. Axis Pension gave us something special, and we'll be going back again later today. But before that, let's take a listen to what transpired. As I mentioned, we'll be at Axis Pension later today. Also, ARB Apex Bank lined up Safoda Ventures. We are coming. Emigo Ghana, producers of Yomi Yogurt, will be in your offices as we build up to the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament on August 9 at the University of Ghana Stadium. If you have not signed up yet, you can sign up by contacting 054-010-6466 or go to myjoyonline.com and download the form to sign up. Ayuda, they are special in creating apps for people to access the various services that they've got. They said they have app Bawku and services Bebre. So you need to get in touch with Ayuda. Their services are quite incredible. And as also, we'll be going to the likes of Magdan Group, who have all signed up for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. Now, let's hear from the president of Ghana Swimming Federation. She has raised concerns about the Borteyman swimming pool. This was a pool put together by the government of Ghana to organize the African Games 2023, which happened in March last year. But 1 year on, the pool has deteriorated to the extent that many people do not believe that it is fit for purpose. In fact, the last time we visited the pool, the water looked green. And the Swimming Federation have raised concerns, saying that there should be proper maintenance of that swimming pool if Ghana is to be able to host some of the best competitions in the continent.
Africa has divided the Africa Aquatics or World Alliance into different zones. And we fall under Zone 2, which is West Africa and Central Africa, made up of about 24 countries. This is where we start from our local championships that we have. We go on to Zone 2, then from Zone 2, we go on to Africa. From Africa, we go to the world. So this is where we are able to say that, listen, in our zone, we are either the best, or second best, or third best. So we start from this zone before we move out. And when we do the zonals, we are able to say, oh, Ghana is now doing very well, because comparatively, you are competing against people who are, or who were formerly better than you. You get to see your smoothness level, and you can take decisions from there. This is for the juniors and seniors, both coming together. And from this, we can say, okay, so after Zone 2, even though we've been hosting our league here in Ghana, our national championships, we know that our swimmers have gone a notch higher, competing with their peers through in the zone. Then we know we are ready for anything. Well, it's somehow in shape, but we need to do some work on it. You know, as I keep saying, water, when it is stagnant and it's not being used, becomes stale. So the facility itself is okay, but it's a pool that we need to work on to make sure the water is always clean and ready for competitions. So the facility is fine, but we'll work on the pool to make sure the water is ready before the competition.
To football now, Kumasi Asante Kotoko have completed the signing of Lord Amoa from Samatex ahead of their participation in the CAF Confederation Cup. Speaking to the Porcupine media, he says that he's here to help the team achieve their dreams in Africa.
I'm really excited to be here. It's an honor. Asante Kotoko is not just a club, it's a club with rich historical, cultural heritage. So it's an honor to be here. Yeah.
How did you receive the news of interest in you? And whom did you speak to in terms of the club's hierarchy? And how was the news like?
Basically, I think I wasn't really much involved in the negotiations, but my club contacted me and my representative as well. So that's how come I'm here. Yeah.
Where does Hilary play on the field? What is his style of play? What is he bringing on board that is different from what you've seen before?
Okay. I'm a defensive midfielder, and basically I'm more of an energetic player, physically strong. Yeah, and that's it.
The task is for the team to do very well in the CAF Confederation Cup.
Yeah.
to win the league and other domestic trophies. Are you ready for the pressures that comes with it? And are you ready to help the team achieve all these targets?
Pressure is always part of the game. Yeah, and to be here, I know the tasks ahead, so I'm ready for everything that's going to come.
That is your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. And when you go on the platform, kindly download the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament form. Sign up to be part of this year's competition. And as mentioned earlier, we have started visiting the various companies that have signed up for this year's competition. And first off is Axis Pension. We'll be going to Ayuda, we're going to ARB Apex Bank, the likes of McDown, Royal Suite Limited have all signed up. Piva Beverages, they're all part of the companies that are coming for this year's event. And wait for us, we'll be in your offices pretty soon. You can also contact us on 054-010-6466 to sign up. I'll go to the front desk of Joy FM, pick up a form, and sign up to be part of this year's event. The newspaper review comes your way up next.
I'm not a man, but most men preparing to get married will tell you that one of the first things they want to secure is a home, a place to start life with your partners. Now imagine diligently saving up to 19,500 Ghana cedis, only to be swindled by the very people you trusted to give you that home. Now that's the story of Brighter Wusi.
It began with hope. Brighter Wusi, a hard-working young man, had saved diligently to secure a new beginning with his girlfriend.
Around that time, I was about getting married. I was preparing to get married, and then by then I was living in a chamber and hall. So I went online. I saw this two-bedroom apartment at the Achimota area. The guy I got in contact with was the agent. I think the apartment was going for a 2,000, and then I asked for a reduction of 1,500. So the agent told me that I can come and then view the apartment. Okay, when I come and view the apartment and I am comfortable and everything, then we'll take it from there.
The agent first took brides to inspect the two-bedroom apartment. It seemed perfect, clean, well kept, just what he wanted.
It was a story building with people in the house, okay? And when I was entering the house, I saw some caretaker at the entrance of the apartment. I even greeted him. Then I think my apartment was upstairs. It was on the last floor, okay? So I entered the house, I saw people at the house and everything. So I checked it and everything was okay. So the agent said that the owner of the apartment does not live there. He lives at North Kanishin. So it means that if I want to make payment, we would have to go and meet the landlord. Then I can make a payment.
Once Bright expressed interest, the agent offered to introduce him to the supposed landlord at his residence.
So just when we got there and I parked, then I saw the man coming out from his car in a rush, wearing those man's holding Bible. So he was like, sorry. So then I asked that, okay, since we are here, can we go to the house, sit down, and then talk? And he said, no, he's in a hurry. So we should sit in his car.
What made you feel convinced that indeed he was the landlord?
The man comes across as a very, very responsible man. Very responsible. He was wearing a blue t-shirt with a trowel, with a shoe, and he had a coat with Bible.
As expected, the meeting took place, but under rather unusual circumstances. In total, Bright paid 18,000 Ghana cedis advance payment, plus 1,500 Ghana cedis for air conditioners to be fixed. The deal was done, or so he thought.
He's supposed to give me my tenancy agreement, but
I have to go, come the next day, and then come for the tenancy agreement because I can see he's in a rush. So there, we just put that one on the side. We had to talk about the payments. So I actually gave him cash.
Okay.
So I made the payments. He gave me a receipt. They moved just when...
Right after collecting the money?
Right after collecting the money, they moved on a very top speed.
Like a punch to the gut, Bright was hit with the truth. The landlord's residence was actually a movie house.
I started calling this landlord. I called. No one was answering. Then I decided to call the agent. The agent too was not answering. Later, when I tried calling again, their phones were off. I kept on asking myself a lot of questions. So I said, okay, let me go to his house. So I got there, I'm like, oh, Petroleum, Mr. Eno. Then a guy looked at me and like, who is Mr. Eno? I am a movie house. The landlord's house was a movie house.
Bright turned to the police for justice. First at the local station, then a petition to the IGP.
That very moment, I went to Mile 7 police station to make a complaint. And then, funny enough, when I got there, and then I was making my complaint, they were just looking at me and laughing. Before I got there, about 2 people had already been there to make complaint about them being about a similar issue.
Bright became his own detective, following digital footprint, asking questions and refusing to let go.
I just picked my petition and then I dropped it on Facebook. Then one girl contacted me, tried to describe the agent to me. So the Safua lady had a picture of the landlord. So she sent the picture to me to confirm if it's the guy. I say, yeah, that's the guy. When we got there, he was driving an Opel Astra car, blue Opel Astra car. Just when he saw me, he had to reverse. He was on a top speed. So he entered into a yard. Unfortunately for him, the place was blocked.
So there was no escape?
There was no escape. There was no exit. So the only thing for him to do is to reverse and then come back. And there, the soldiers caught him.
So he paid everything in full?
Oh, no. I think he paid about half of it. At the period, I felt sorry for him. So I think I took about half of the money and then I just left the rest.
But the financial loss was just the surface. The trauma of betrayal cuts deeper than the pocket.
Honestly, when this thing happened to me, I didn't feel like going to look for an apartment myself. Okay, so...
Why didn't you feel like that?
I didn't want to go through that trauma again. Okay, I didn't want to go through that process again. So when we had to look for this apartment, I gave it to my wife to handle it. From here, we wanted to move to a different apartment, but it becomes very difficult for me to even go and speak with a genuine landlord or agent to speak with him or her about an apartment. So for some time now, when it comes to renting and I just don't want to get involved. I want someone else to do those processes for me.
For Brighter, we see it wasn't just about losing money. It was about losing trust, peace, and momentarily losing himself. It took relentless personal efforts for him to reclaim a portion of what was stolen from him. But not everybody is able to have the means or strength to do same. And until Ghana's housing system is cleaned up and better regulated, stories like Bright's will keep repeating. I'm Noella Kareniali, and this is for Joy News.
All right, welcome back to the AM show. A reminder that the AM show is sponsored by Whaley Properties. Are you thinking of a rewarding investment you can engage in? Then Whaley Company Limited is your preferred choice for such investment. Whaley Company Limited is a real estate company with several developments to its credit here in Accra. Invest in our new development, Willow Lane, where elegance will meet tranquility in the heart of Accra. We provide quality housing at affordable costs and also with flexible payment options. At Waylead Properties, we provide you 24-hour security, reliable power supply, and other social amenities to make your stay a memorable one. Give us a call now on 0240 11 11 19 or 0504 49 99 99. You can also visit us on waylead.org. Well, let's get into what the papers are reporting this morning. And I am here with the beautiful, the charming-looking Emefa Adeti. Look at your screen. You can keep this as a screensaver.
Oh dear. Oh dear. What's happening? You should hear what my director is screaming in our ears. It's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
I love it when you call me the Hunter Pele.
No, I know what it does to you. Ready for the news review?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But before we go there, look, there's a story I'm seeing on one of the Daily Post.
Okay.
And I think we need to, because I know that something is coming up this weekend. The paper says, okay, let me try and get it for you. There's a lot has changed on my phone.
It's fine.
In this, good. Okay. I've seen it. On the front page of the Daily Post, it says, Education Ministry orders abolition of teacher licensure exams.
Mm.
But I know this weekend, some people are writing these exams. So what's happening? If it's true that the Education Ministry has ordered, and this is an order, that abolish the exams, why are people going to write it this weekend?
I like to, of course, and I don't speak for the
industry,
but I like to think that usually because you go through a registration process or you go through certain processes, for example, these people may have already registered for the very latest one that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so when you abolish something, sometimes it takes a bit of time to implement, to effect. If they didn't say effective immediately.
Well,
and if it goes through a certain procedure, if you have already registered, I like to think that they will allow it to pass. And then subsequently, there won't be any more registration. Of course, I'm not a teacher, but if you're watching us and you're a teacher and maybe you want to share whether it goes through a certain process, and which is why you're going to take that exam, of course, we're interested to know.
Anyway, let's bring in our guest. I brought this up because maybe one of our guests would want to take this up. Now, Dr. Kwame Asante is head for the Center for European Studies, University of Ghana. Doc, thank you for joining us. I see you there.
Good morning.
Great. Dr. Jabir Mohammed is senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Doc, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. And Dr. Pakwesi Eduafol Abedu is a development analyst. Doc, thank you for joining too.
Hey, Kojo. Good morning. Good morning, Emefa. And good morning to my colleagues.
Okay. Now, let's start with you, Dr. Kwame Asante. As we do always, we'll give you 2 minutes to tell us, what issues you want to have a bite on before we go into the papers.
Thank you for the opportunity. This morning, I want to look at the ills of our democracy, which manifested itself in the just ended rerun at Ablekumanov. It is very unfortunate that we witness such ugly spectacle in this age and time, that people can subject human beings to beating, to kicking and whatnot. Very, very distasteful. I was so surprised that people could attack a human being like that. It's unfair, unjust, and, simply abhorring. If you look at that, you ask yourself whether we are, working to consolidate this democracy. Democracy thrives on ideas. It thrives on, principles, rules, and regulations. if for one reason or another, somebody has done something wrong to you, the best way to seek redress in courts and not to take the law into your own hands, because democracy revolves or it hinges on rule of law, that it tells you that you cannot do anything without recourse to law. So what we saw about the beating of Howard Kumsen, very, very unfortunate. And look, I expect that the good people of this country, lovers of democracy, will rise up and we get those who are involved in these practices in this country out of this democracy. Because look, if we continue to harbor these people, a time will come, our democracy will be at the brink. And we are not interested in that. People have fought, worked hard to bring us this far. We can't sit down for a few disgruntled, a few non-patriotic, a few wicked and evil people to hijack this democracy, dictate the pace, and provide direction that is unhealthy for us. We need to rise up and defend this democracy. It is the only game in town. Whether we like it or not, democracy has come to stay. It has its own problems, but in the course of pursuing it, we will weather the storm and make sure that we have a beautiful democracy. I was very much also disappointed with the effort of the police, that they could not, do much when the thing started, even though they came in to save the situation a little bit. But initially, I didn't see much of their action. I think it's not the best. It's not the best. We must stand up for the truth at all times and defend this democracy. We are still in a fragile state. Let us not forget about that. And we should work hard to strengthen the frontiers of our democracy. Those who prepare to go to, polling stations with guns, cutlasses, and the rest of them, please, we should make sure that we have clear rules that prevent people from misbehaving at polling centers, and let us work to save our democracy. The threat for democracy are things like this, and this lead to what we call democratic reversals, which we have started experiencing in some parts of Africa and the rest of the world. Please, Ghana has come a long way, and that anything that will go against democracy, let us stand up and nip it in the bud.
All right, Dr. Kwame Asasa, anytime I see these videos, I tend to get a bit angry because of the actions in there. But that's it. Let's come to you, Dr. Jabiru. What do you want to have a bite on?
Yeah, thank you, Kojo and MFR. This morning, I want to look at two issues.
Okay.
One of them has to do with our Management Week celebration, the University of Ghana Business School. Every year, we celebrate Management Week, where we bring together students, industry players, etc., to come and talk about issues that are emerging in the management space. This year is being organized by the Department of Marketing and Entrepreneurship, and our theme is Marketing, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship, a catalyst for success in the 24-hour economy. So it's happening this morning live at the business school. So I want to encourage you and others to pass by and witness the program. The second thing I want to talk about is what you just showed in your screen before we were put on, concerning scammers in the real estate industry, especially the rental sector. This is so alarming because it means that we have not been able to fight our housing deficit. We've not been able to put together the better mechanisms in place to ensure that we have free and fair and beautiful housing for our citizens. So the state must wake up. The Ministry of Works and Housing has a long way to go. The real estate sector also have a long way to go. Individuals who build their own houses and when to put them out for rent have a long way to go. We need to have a coordinated system where we can put together all houses that are available for rent so that we can regulate the sector very well. It means that we need to properly regulate it because this is so alarming because people take advantage of individuals who are looking for such houses. And sometimes some landlords don't know that it is a business. Some of them are so disrespectful that when you are even in someone's house, it's like you are begging the person. So it is making people to crave for their own homes. And this is even allowing us to go destroy all kinds of land for building purposes when we could have potentially used it for agriculture and other industrial activities. We could even actually build our houses in such a way that we will not have any problem if the state will take control of that, if investors will come and take control of that, so that we can even rent or we can even buy the houses and be paying on installment basis in a mortgage form. These are things that happens in advanced countries. And this country, there is nothing like that going on. We leave everything going anyhow. And the way we handle things is not just the best. I know there are some industries doing their best, like We Live and others. But we still have many more who are not pulling their weight because some of the housing, the prices are so high that you cannot even buy them. So I'm just appealing to the government to look into this matter and ensure that we regulate the real estate sector very well, especially the rental sector, so that we can have a better rent control system in the country.
As the law says, you don't take more than 6 months. Some people take 2 years. And if you don't have it,
exactly.
you
some
cannot.
Some take 2 years, etc.
If you don't have 2 years' money, you can have a decent accommodation to live in. So, but they will say the law says what, but the landlord also has his burden. So if you don't pay, you don't live.
So that's how come that we need to regulate. We can use the district assemblies. If you build your property and you want to rent, then you have to go and register with the district assembly, so that the district assembly can have a platform where we can enlist all of these things. Now we are now in the age of technology, so we should not be wondering, we should not be having challenge with some of these things. All of these things can be handled with technology. Just a click of the button, everything is going to be all right. So we need to actually put measures in place to be able to regulate the sector very well.
All right, grateful to you. Dr. Abedu, what's your take?
Yes, Kojo, I want to take on two key issues. The first is to remind government, is to remind leadership of this country that we have about 4 years away to end the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And if you look at Goal 1, it talks about poverty eradication. Kojo, a lot of people are still struggling to survive in this country. A lot of people are still struggling to eat, or to say have even a meal once a day, nutritious meal, if I should say. People are struggling to have decent shelter. And that is why when you come to the streets of Accra and most of our cities, you find people sleeping in gutters, in front of stalls, and so many inhuman places. Kojo, when it comes to poverty, people are still struggling to have access to good drinking water. And so it is important that as we are going about our daily activities as business people, as media, and as government, as appointees, we need to think about our colleagues, our fellows who are wallowing in poverty, who are struggling to survive. If we don't do that, inequality will perpetuate. And that will mean that people will have to find so many ways to survive, including all sorts of crimes and unacceptable social behaviors, which will end up hunting all of us, those of us who feel we are okay, who feel that we have a good place to sleep, we have food to eat, we have, cars to drive. These people will come and start hunting us. And so we need to be very mindful. Indeed, when you even look at the electoral violence that we have been experiencing and all the other crimes that we tend to record in this country, you cannot underestimate the role of poverty, the role of marginalization in these incidences. And so it is important that we are intentional about driving people or uplifting people from the lower bracket, from the poverty net, so that at least the typical Ghanaian will have a decent living. But the next thing, the quick thing I want to add is that I just read on your portal, your online portal, that President Mahama has indicated that illegal small-scale mining is an emergency, issue of an emergency. I was wondering, when did the president get to know this? Is it because he went through his tour in the Western region and observed things himself that is making him come to the realization that all the noise and all the issues that civil society and advocates were talking about on the need for the president to declare a state of emergency? Is it a time that the president has come to appreciate the concerns and the cries of the people? Indeed, if the president wants to know, I will urge him to fast track his thank you tour and then visit all the other areas in the country, including the northern part of Ghana, including the eastern part of Ghana, and then have a further and deeper appreciation of the issues. Then the president will realize that the good water he and his team are drinking at the Flagstaff House is not the same as what others are drinking in the other part of the country. The good health that they may be experiencing, of course, when they are not well, they can travel outside to find solace in terms of health access. But in most parts of these Galamsey areas, access to health care is a big challenge. And so if the president is now becoming aware of the gravity of the issue, then we want to remind him that the issue is more dire than what he's seen in that in all the areas in the Western and Western North regions. And so we expect him to take decisive actions on small-scale mining and ensure that activities are brought down, or the illegal activities are brought down to a more sustainable level, where we can have access to good drinking water, where we can have a very a forest reserve with
Oh no, maybe
where we can have good air to issues, and even the social problems along with Galamsey, so that we can have a better and sustainable country. Thank you, Kojo.
All right, Dr. Abedu there. Well, let's get into the papers. And I have with me the Ghanaian publisher and also the Accra Times. What do you have?
Okay, I've got the Ghanaian Times this morning and the News Center this morning. Okay, let's start with the Ghanaian Times. And the big one in front of the Ghanaian Times this morning is the government secures $117 million for basic education reforms, and a photo of Dr. Clement Park here in front of the Ghanaian Times. And as well, President orders arrest of rogue task force. We'll bring you details of that as well. And if you didn't know, safety of meat not guaranteed unless it is sourced from certified facilities. Experts have been speaking. And also, businessman petitions Yoko over alleged 100,000 fraud by 3 persons. Story is on page 3. I'll quickly run through the News Center as well as City gains reflect policy sync. Dr. Johnson Esiama, Bank of Ghana governor, speaking as well. And chiefs to Mahama toughen Galamsey fight. And also, BOG's 1.4 billion CD support in first quarter 2025 is too aggressive. And it's the IMF that is saying this as well on the News Center. What do you have?
Well, from the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher says Ioko probes Mincom and Ademu's chiefs over minerals petition, as you read there earlier. It comes with a picture of the CEO of Mincom, Martin Kwekweisi, and also the CEO of Ademu's, Angela List there. Ghana Link slams false report on KIA scanners. Mahama's D-levy takes off today. From the Accra Times, Speaker praises Ghana's democracy at Francophone Forum. The benefit of strong economic performance, more foreign grants for Ghana. That's from Amenfi East MP, because he's saying that. Also, strengthening parliamentary democracy, clerk to press corps. Senator engages Queen Mothers on cultural preservation. And surge in communicable diseases, Health Minister raises alarm. Tackling petroleum sector crimes, MPA, judiciary to prosecute offenders. Those are the stories I have here.
Okay, maybe we'll start with the Ghanaian Times. Now, this one that was not a major highlight, but I found it in page 11. On page 11 of the Ghanaian Times, says that fuel allowances allocation for political appointees scrapped. This was a headline story yesterday, a top story yesterday. And so maybe we'll get into it. Dr. Asante, if you can hear me, let's start with you because this one has my attention. We'll start with a scrapping of it and probably you'll expand it to the levy that is taking effect today. Now, yesterday, first of all, let me tell you this, because President John Mahama's decision to cancel fuel allowances for all political appointees could save the country more than 121 million over the next 4 years. And this is according to Dr. Sharif Khalid, economic policy advisor to the vice president, how much it's projected to save the country, 121 million. Now, why I'm starting with you is the honesty sometimes of Ghanaians, because yesterday, I'll say of government, not Ghanaians. Yesterday, we engaged with the deputy spokesperson for government. And I put the question directly whether it is some sort of a requirement of the IMF, of course, because IMF had given a cap that we cannot spend as a country. But how much the current government is seeking to spend is just slightly above what the IMF had capped the country for. And then I asked whether it was a fiscal emergency. They said no. It is a clear reset agenda. You understand it better. I want to know what's really the difference between a reset agenda and a fiscal emergency, because you think that there's a problem with the country. This is why you want to reset, though. But whilst you're at it, just let me understand how you feel about the full allowance allocation that the government is cutting, how much is projected to, save the country, and if this is a feasible thing for governments to implement.
I think it's a good policy by all standards, because you see, when you don't have resources, every little drop is important. So if we are going to rake in 121 million Ghana cedis, then it's good such amount of money for development. My difficulty is that how we can track the use of this money and how it will be transparent. How do we ensure that government officials will not bypass this and do something differently? If we are able to put measures in place and make sure that the money we get, we ensure value for it, we use it for very important, purpose, then obviously one would say that it is a good policy. More often than not, these things are done, people rubbish them. But I tell you, little money is so important. If you look at governance in general, the best way to govern is to ensure what we call extractive capacity. You build your capacity to raise revenue to run your own affairs. So you don't need to wait for IMF or World Bank to come to your aid and then whip you to line, as it were, to be able to do the needful. Once you realize, and you have, for Mahama, he has made it part and parcel of his manifesto, that some of these things are part of the reset agenda. We want to see more, and so that we can rake in a lot of money for the state. That aside, I want to look at the $170 million basic education reform facility.
Kindly let's cross over to the street. Once government is beginning the implementation of the 1 cedi per litre, petroleum levy today, our colleague is engaging passengers in the trotros in the street of Accra. Let's go there now and have a feel of what's happening. KMJ is doing that interaction.
They'll be taking our monies and then not use it for what they want to use it for. So,
but at least transparency-wise, you think that they have done enough for you to believe them?
Well, I think so. For the past few months, I think they've been doing much. So I'm hoping.
All right. So Please be careful. There's a gutter over here, so be careful. All right, so we're still here. We're still commuting. We have left Newtown. We have Ridge right now. And this is where passengers are getting down. And we're still engaging them to find out what they think about the new levy, which is the 1 Ghana cedi that we're all supposed to be paying. Now, the pumps will increase it. If they do, it means that the drivers will also increase it. And it's all going to go into the packets of the passengers. Are the passengers ready to actually pay for this amount of money? And that's the question we're asking this morning right here on this trip. And we're here at Ridge right now. We're going all the way to Tema Station. That is where we're going. And very soon we're trying to engage with the drivers as well to find out if they're also ready to actually conform with this new regulation. When it came before, the drivers said that no, they're not ready. There was no stakeholder engagement and all of that. Now there have been some sort of engagements with them. Are the stakeholders right now ready to actually do what they are supposed to do in terms of accepting this new levy that is coming? We're going to be doing that, and like I said, we'll be talking to some of the drivers very soon as well. And my name is KMJ, reporting live here on the street of Accra on Prime Morning.
All right. So that's it. We'll go back there when he starts talking to the drivers to understand what the drivers and passengers are all making of this 1 cedi per litre levy that's being introduced today. Dr. Asante, you were moving on to the $17 million that the Education Ministry has secured.
Yes, but before I do, let me touch on quickly with the 1 cedi levy.
Okay.
My position is very clear on this because I was in support of 1 cedi e-levy, and I still stand by that. So I was not expecting the government to abolish it. And you know my views on that, because I believe that, and it is part and parcel of governance process to be able to build capacity, raise your own revenue, and then run with it, right? So why do you abolish e-levy of 1 cedi and introduce 1 cedi e-levy at the energy sector? If somebody attack you, it is just unnecessary. You have just exposed yourself to this, because it is nothing but robbing Peter to pay Paul. That e-levy you cancel, I was for it. I supported during Akufo-Addo's time. I said, let it be, and let's maintain it. So now you abolish it, you introduce it. What's the meaning of it? Anyway, so that is all that I can say about it. Let me go to $170 million basic educational reforms facility. It is very good because, you see, education at all levels, you need to strengthen them. But more particularly when you are talking about the basic level, the foundation need to be strong. In other jurisdictions, you realize that that is where they put in a lot. But the opposite is the situation in our part of the world. You go to certain parts of the country, you realize that even those who are teaching at the basic level, you can't even vouch for the quality of teaching that goes on.
Yeah.
In other jurisdictions, I can mention Czech Republic, for instance. I am told that those who teach at the basic level, even your minimum qualification is a master's degree. You are a master of the subject and you are teaching it. Here, sometimes you go around and you realize that we are in a sorry state. So if the government want to revamp that area, strengthen the base, build capacity, I am all for it. All that I want to ensure, the government has to ensure, is that whatever we put in as money, we'll get returns for it. And that we try to introduce the kind of education that will enable our young people to rub shoulders with their counterparts all over the world. You can go through all manner of education, but if it is not education that dovetails into the work of industry, dovetails into the real world of work, I'm afraid it becomes empty. I move on to look at...
But Doc, a question on that. I mean, this is not the first time we're receiving such grants. We've had it over the years. But if you look at the improvement in our education, especially at the basic level, people say it does not commensurate with how much we've gotten. So really, how do we ensure the effective utilization of such a grant at the basic level?
What we are doing as part of it, we must continue to demand answers for some of these things. Yeah, because the public has the right to know. What is wrong with we posing questions? How can a minister come and explain to us how far they've dispersed that money? Where did we inject that money or put that money into? These are things that we have to do. We as members of the civil society, members of think tanks, general public must rise up to some of these issues and then demand answers. Sometimes my problem in this country is that when people belong to political party, they sleep over their rights. They do not want to, do something to affect the image of the government if something is going untoward. But please, we don't govern this way. We don't govern with sympathy, empathy, and all that. We govern with rules and regulation, making sure that we adhere to them and we do the right things. I'll move on to Speaker praising Ghana's democracy. There's nothing wrong with the Speaker doing that. It's a good thing because take it or leave it, our democracy has come a long way and it has become one of the shining examples of democracy that is stable, that is, developing, and that is improving by the day. I can say all the good things, but having said this, I have a problem. There are a number of things that we need to do if we want to firm this democracy and make it meaningful. Human rights records, there are some aspects of it which are still problematic. And I'll urge the public to check on U.S. State Department report on human rights. You come face to face with some of the ills within that report. For instance, the beating of suspects in police stations, unnecessary treatment given to them by the police and all that is a tall order. It dovetails into almost every regime. And I know the police over the years, their leadership have done a lot to improve this. But there are some, vestiges of some of these things existing in the report. We need to work at that. Issue of electoral violence, which we have seen. I have observed with pain over the years that when we go to elect, we started democracy and we saw people who went to the polls to destroy ballot boxes and all that. We tried to deal with this. And in no time, people introduce macho men who will come and cause commotion, destroy ballots, chase people out. In no time, we move the conversation further to another level where we have parties arming themselves in the form of vigilantes, creating all manner of tension, fear, maiming people, and the rest of them. It didn't end there. We also move into the level where at the polling station, people shoot people. We talk about 2020 election, 8 people died, and it didn't bother the government of the day. Today, we go to Ablekuma. We went to Ayawaso, and we saw brutalities and all that. Report was written about this, and it was shelved. You look at Ablekuma, it is an ugly spectacle. It tells me that yes, we have done a lot about to improve our democracy, but a lot need to be done in the area of electoral violence and all that. Because once we get it wrong, I'm afraid we are going to get our democracy wrong. Issue of no democracy survive without improvement in the economy. Economy must improve because democracy is driven by economic fortunes, because that is where people see the dividends and they are prepared to develop and support democracy at all times. Issue of political participation, must be improved. And then issue of media freedom. Media go to capture this and they are subject of attack, beatings and all that. We cannot pride ourselves of having a very solid democracy when these evils continue to rear their ugly heads in our democracy. We need to take a second look at this and right the wrongs and create the democracy that will stand the test of time.
Okay.
Well, shall we move to Dr. Jabril? Dr. Jabril, let's start with the One Ghana CD levy, which is starting today. Will you describe this as regressive or as quite an equitable one? Dr. Asante has always been vocal that it is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Many have argued that that is true. Many say it's regressive. Do you find it equitable?
Well, the fact of the matter is that the energy sector is currently struggling, and there is a need to revamp it, in as much as it may not be quite equitable, because it's not everybody who drives a vehicle, but it is everyone who takes a vehicle. Indirectly, you're going to be paying for it. In the e-levy, for instance, there was instances where you can decide not to pay for it because you may decide not to send the money through your phone. You can go to a vendor and pay and send the money through the vendor, and you don't have to pay the e-levy. So that was the case. But for this one, everybody must pay for it, whether you like it or not. The moment you have anything to do with a vehicular movement, you will have to pay for it. And I continue to maintain that what is going to be the marginal benefit if we have to keep our lights out versus if we have to keep our light on? The cost of the light being out might outweigh the cost of we deciding to pay for this one Ghana cedi more, so that we can keep our light on. In as much as we may have to demand more accountability, because we introduced the ESLA bond, the ESLA levy, so that we can clean up the energy sector. One might ask, what has happened to the ESLA money? And now that we are demanding for additional funds, what is the guarantee that this additional funding is going to solve the problem that we are currently facing? That is a question that we should be asking ourselves. And I think that the authorities must have to give us good explanation about how efficient the ESLA proceeds were actually used before this one Ghana cedi is being asked one more. The moment the ESLA was dropped, a particular bond was issued in 2017, and that bond of Templeton, I remembered, and that bond was paying a coupon rate of about 19.something%. And that has crippled the energy sector up to now, because the funding that was meant to resolve the problem perpetually could not resolve the problem, because we still have the same problem currently existing. What is the guarantee that this particular one Ghana cedi will not also be mortgaged or collateralized and be used for additional loan, so that that money can be used for elsewhere instead of using it to solve the energy problem? So we need that guarantee from the government. If the government can guarantee us that right, then we are going to hope that the benefit is going to be wider. But as it stands currently, we know that if the one Ghana cedi is not paid, our light might go off. So we have no option. It has already been implemented. We have no option than to pay. But we have to demand accountability, just like what Professor Asante said. Accountability is very important. You cannot raise revenue and just spend the money anyhow without accountability. So I believe that authorities must give a very concrete explanation that the money will not be mortgaged once more and use it for something else, either than using it to solve the energy sector crisis that we are currently facing.
Dr. Jabril, I have a question on that. I have a question just to follow up on this one before you probably move on or make any further comments on this. So governance really is about managing scarce resources. So this guarantee that you're asking from government, are they likely to give it, because then they can say that, of course, I said that these funds, we're going to be using it for the energy sector. We wake up to tomorrow to another need. We've gathered enough money here, and so we've got the money. We must use this money for something else, as you describe it rightly, guarantee or some mortgage or collateral. Would governments be wrong if they did that? Is that not their work, to be able to toss around the scarce resources?
No, it's important for you to do environment, but when you are doing it, you have to be mindful. That's why I just said that we did that kind of environment for the energy sector levy. Here we are paying additional one Ghana cedi. If we had utilized the funds very well, if we had said, okay, fine, we are going to ensure that we put, let's say, up to 50 or up to 70% of it down. The other 30%, you can use that for other kind of other expenditure, other discretionary expenditure that may come up. But we didn't do that. You decided to mortgage the funds, and who knows what you use the funds for. At the end of the day, here you are, you come back and ask us that we should pay 1 Ghana cedi more. Yes, I may not be against it because we need to keep our lights on. But in as much as I'm not against it, I'm also for accountability, where the government will have to show for the benefit of the funding, because we don't want to come back and pay another money for the energy sector. We are paying too much for it. Remember that when it was introduced, the petroleum marketing companies were very angry about it. They said they were not consulted, etc., etc. I remember the CEO was here with us, and there was a lot of commotion on that particular levy.
I agree.
Yes, I remember that. But I consistently believe that the right thing must be done. And we cannot wait to consult everybody before we solve a problem. Sometimes you have to go ahead to solve the problem, then you come back to sit on the tables and have a better discussion. That is how governance is supposed to be. You have to be proactive in addressing your problems. I believe that the energy minister will be addressing the press, and he will come out and talk more about it, how efficient that funding can be utilized. I am an energy person. My PhD was in revenue mobilization in the energy sector, especially oil revenues. So I tend to understand a lot of things, and I've done things with PURC and all of that. And the last time I said that the build up of the energy, the petroleum pricing was not part of it. He argued that it was part, but later on, the government clarified that it was not part of it. The fuel is not part of it. So I think that this is the time for us to reform. And we have to reform the sector in such a way that it is lively for all of us, because energy is very important. Without energy, you cannot be sitting in the studio to talk, and I cannot also connect with you. So let's try to ensure that we maintain a stable power, and that will go a long way to help the economy.
Well, Doc, but I mean, you spoke about ESLA earlier on. If ESLA couldn't deal with the challenges in the energy sector in terms of debt, what is driving your confidence that the 1 cedi per litre will likely do it?
Yeah, I'm not saying that the 1 cedi per litre will solve the entire problem. I'm saying that if you put it to where you said you wanted to put it, okay, the ESLA, it will have solved the problem. But here is a case, you use the money, you collateralize the money, and use it as asset-backed security to go in for additional funding to come and fund other sectors of whatever at all you wanted to do. But here we are today, we are going back again to pay another 1 Ghana cedi. For what reason? The reason is that you didn't utilize ESLA very well. So I believe that this 1 Ghana cedi should solely be dedicated for the energy sector. We should not in any way use the money for any other purpose. The money should be used for that. So that's why I say that the government should come up with a clear guidelines as to how they want to use the 1 Ghana cedi, so that we don't come back in future to pay another 2 cedi or even 4 cedi.
Okay, all right, Dr. Abedu.
Now, do I have the floor to two other ones?
Yes, do it.
Yeah, so the issue, the reforms in the basic schools. I remember one point I want to clear on the licensure exams. The fact of the matter is that I read somewhere, and I've heard somewhere that the cancellation takes effect in August. So the one that they are writing today,
this weekend,
or this weekend, is still valid. But from August onwards, which is the new academic year, something like that will not be done. Up to now, the academic year hasn't ended. It will end in this July. So if they are writing this weekend, it is valid.
Okay.
But after
but let me ask you, since you are in the academia, if you are cancelling something, which is the licensure, then what becomes of those who have it, really? Such that people are going to write it against something that we are abolishing. What is its relevance?
Yeah, well, and I think that the essence of introducing that was to be able to match with maybe other countries where you can move out of Ghana and go and utilize it somewhere else. And the people in Ghana, and it was also compulsory that before you go to teach, then you should have that. I don't see anything much wrong with that, especially even though you have gone through the basic training, you have gone through the examinations, etc. come and justify your inclusion by an independent body. That solidified your position. The Ghana Medical Council and all those places, after you have qualified, you still have to go and write to be admitted into the distance. Ghana Law School, after you are qualified, you have to go to the professional and go and write a final exams and be admitted as a lawyer. So I didn't see anything wrong with that, but it was a government promise, and they have to come out and they have to deliver, and that is exactly what they have delivered. So in my candid opinion, it's just going to help them, because if they want to move elsewhere, maybe they can say that, oh, we have qualified as licensed teachers. So maybe the other countries may also consider them. If they also have another one, they already have how it feels to write a licensed exams. So anywhere they go in the world, they can equally write it and qualify to also be a teacher. So I think that was the essence of it. But if the government says that it's not relevant, they know why it is not relevant, and that's how come that they are cancelling it. So I don't have any problem with they also cancelling, because they think that it isn't relevant for our people. They think that being trained in the school level is enough for you to qualify to go and teach, and you don't have to come and write another exam to qualify. So that is a position that they have taken. Whichever position that any government takes, they know why they have to take that position. So the 170 million.
But must we leave it to them when we know that possibly those of you in academia who conduct research, you probably will know the impact of that on the quality of education in Ghana? Must we leave it to politicians to say, well, you promise, so you can go ahead and deliver, when we know the importance of that particular initiative?
Thank you. The problem about the country is that we don't evaluate policies when we implement. Have you ever seen any, what do you call a report or any policy evaluation on maybe let's say capitation grant, school feeding program, what do you call it, free senior high school, the impact, the challenges? Have you ever seen any policy evaluation that has come up? We don't do that. So until we begin to do that, so let's see, we can do a comparative analysis. This is a very good policy intervention you can do. You can look at teachers who first were not writing it, teachers who have written it, and teachers who are not going to write it. Okay. So you have three streams of individuals. You trace it, you can do difference in difference approach, and you come out with a clear policy intervention, whether the policy had worked, because you have before those who have done it and those who haven't done it. So you have three groups of categories to trace. And at the end of the day, you can see a clear impact in a policy intervention manner if you are able to do that. If you don't do that, until you do that, then you cannot confirm whether it has improved the quality of teaching and learning or not.
Okay, all right. Finally, yes.
Finally, 170 million. You see, there is already a government program ongoing. During the COVID time, there was a grant that they won, which was on Gallup, Ghana Accountability Learning Outcome Project. And this project has so far trained about more than 10,000 schools in the country. And that 10,000 schools, the low schools in the country, and has improved their outcome. I think on the basis of that they are winning this additional grant. So I believe that we need to strengthen the basic school, just as Dr. Asante said. The basic schools are very important. If they don't have the grounding, they cannot do better even at the university level. We have consistently seen poor performance outcomes, especially when it comes to some of the courses that has to do with mathematics and others. So I believe that this funding should be used to improve on mathematics education and the English education. For me, if you left me alone at the basic school level, they should not do anything apart from English, mathematics, and the Ghanaian language. They should not be burdened with any other thing. When they move to the junior high school, then we can now introduce additional courses. That time, they have built the capacity. But you leave them like that, it becomes extremely difficult. I personally didn't go to school early. But when I went, I decided to learn more on mathematics and English, the Concord, subject-verb agreement, and the like. How to read, how to connect works together, and all of that. These are the foundation of education. If you don't have that, you cannot be a solid person.
Okay, thank you. Time now for us to bring in Dr. Abedu. Doctor. So I mean,
Yes.
issues from the that's the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Absolutely,
right?
117 million, of course, and the 1 Ghana CD levy that's taking effect today.
Yeah, so I think the issue really is about trust by the people to pay the 1 Ghana cedi and why people are complaining about the levy. You see, it tells you how in recent times or consistently people have been developing some kind of mistrust in government when it comes to revenue mobilization or taxation from the people. Ghanaians Ghanaians appreciate the need to pay taxes, but consistently also, government has been giving this impression to Ghanaians that when you give us the money, we won't use it for the purpose that it deserves. And so even though this policy or this tax was withdrawn at a point, we have to go back into further engagement, but it still faced a lot of resistance. It tells you the fundamental problems that we have in terms of our governance and democracy. And so for me, it is incumbent on the president and the government to really start righting the wrongs, rewriting the story about the impressions that Ghanaians have about government and the way government utilize our resources. So that, especially in the context of this very government where a lot of goodwill and a lot of support has been given to him or to the government, especially looking at the recent elections and all the issues that have been coming after the elections, governments need to take advantage, capitalize on that goodwill, and build on the trust that is being reposed in it so that people will be able to believe that, okay, subsequently, whenever any tax or anything of that sort comes, we are okay and comfortable to pay. If not, then governments should be ready to face such kind of resistance anytime a tax is introduced. And you see, when this trajectory continues, what it means is that eventually a time will come that almost every intervention or any taxation or revenue mobilization strategy that will be implemented by the government will face huge resistance. And that will not augur well for development. And so I would just entreat the president and the government to take a lot of lessons from the tax and all the issues that has surrounded or come around it and see how they can do things right. Personally, I think I've echoed this and I want to say this again. I was expecting leadership to really look at the internal problems, the leakages, the wastage that we have been encountering, we have been experiencing, and government itself has been acknowledging has been associated with the energy sector. We have so much to do in terms of the leakages so that at least those expenses, which eventually are being pushed down to the consumer, can be managed. But we don't seem to hear a lot being done in terms of how these wastages are curtailed or are being avoided. And always the convenient way is to come to the people, tax them so that we can solve the problem. And so I want to use this medium to just entreat the leadership that, look, the structural problems still persist. The fundamental problems still persist. And that is, we have so much leakage, we have so much wastage in the sector. And so it is important that as part of building the trust, these wastages, these leakages are dealt with severely so that next time when you come with the clean hands to say that I have dealt with the problem, the internal problems. I have dealt with the issues within, but the problem still persists. We still need more money to solve the problems in the energy sector. So please help us, Ghanaian people, by paying more so that we'll be able to resolve the issue. But if you always come to say, come and pay tax, whilst the money goes and then it becomes another challenge, I don't think it's augur well for democracy. I don't think it's augur well for accountability and our development path as a whole. And so that is a little that I want to touch on the D-levy. Now, let me go on the allowances which have been scrapped, the full allowance to government appointees. You see, when the levy, this news broke up, I tried to have some informal discussion with some people. And the issue that people are continuously raising is that, and so what? What happens? How do we know that indeed these allowances will not be will not be given to them through another means. And assuming that the allowances are going to be scrapped, what would be the purpose? How would the person or the ordinary person in my small village in Yamfekwe Krofu or Abodunko is going to benefit from such a scrap? I go back to the era of former President John Adjei Kufuor, and I want to say, can we do something more symbolic, something more exemplary to say that the fuel allowances which were scrapped, we have used the amount to build 5 toilet facilities for communities which are in need of these amenities? Can we use that, or can that money be used for something, to build a school or something that can provide that evidence that the money that you denied these appointees have been used for the purpose of the ordinary person, the ordinary poor person out there? If we're able to give this kind of confidence to the people by showing the way, I think it will accumulate into the issue that I raised previously, that it will help to build trust, it will help to build confidence, and it will help government in terms of its image and credibility, so that anytime some of these austerity measures are implemented, it will have that full support. But interestingly, look at the timing where this allowances scrapping was announced or took effect, and when this D-levy also came to effect. So it's just like the government is trying to play with our minds. Something is off. We are trying to tell you that, look, let's all help each other by tightening our belts. So we are going to leave the appointees with these allowances. But then just on the other side, there's a D-levy to pay. I think all these things ends up affecting people's perception about governance and all the issues that comes with the negativities. And so I would implore the president, I would implore the government to use these opportunities to ensure that every step that is taken, people's sentiments, people's understanding, people's responses are well taken notice of, and ensuring that what that it takes, it will eventually help improve the lives of the people. If not, a time will come, there will be a lot of resistance for the Ghanaian people. Let me touch also on the Bank of Ghana and the issue that the Bank of Ghana, the governor, talked about regarding the fact that we should try to price our currency using the Bank of Ghana official rate, and all the praises that you want to give in terms of intentional policy interventions, which is helping the city stability. Look, the Bank of Ghana should understand. I was happy that, Dr. Siama himself acknowledged that the Zamrama people, the informal sector, they are playing a key role in our forex market. And the fact is that these informal sector players are very key in our forex market. The buggers will come to town, and the first point of resort to change their money as the Zamrama people or the informal sector. That is the reality. And these people are transacting huge sums of dollars on a daily basis. Is the Bank of Ghana aware? Is the governor aware? If yes, what interventions or what strategies are we deploying to ensure that these informal sector players who are doing so much, who are transacting so much and affecting our currency, our official currency dealings, are dealt with? If not, are we to think, or are we to hold on to that perception by the public out there that some players within the government, some players within the governance systems or our political leaders are actually behind these Zamrama people and are encouraging them to do their business? If that perception is not what it is, then we expect the governor to really crack the whip on these informal sector players in ensuring that we mainstream our forex market, we formalize our forex market so that the Bank of Ghana can have that space in controlling the forex market. If not, we will continue to have this kind of dual market where the Bank of Ghana will do its own talking, give its own rates, but then the real business will happen out there in the ghettos, in the corners, at the Zamrama people, where people will continue to deal with them. And so I will implore the BOG and the governor to be very mindful of this and ensure that we don't go back to that era where CD will get out of hands. Okay. We are enjoying the current rate and we want an improvement of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I think this is all time would allow us. We had the publisher, but I think issues that are carried by the other papers have already been discussed as well. So thank you to you, our guest, Dr. Kwame Asante, head of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. We also have Dr. Jibril. He is with the University of Ghana Business School, and also Dr. Baidu. There he is a development analyst. Dr. Pakwesi Edwafala Baidu, development analyst. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us, having time for us on the AM show. So there you have it, MFA. Yes.
If you decide that you're not going to take transport, whichever way, listen. That cassava seller who has to transport
would obviously get them back to you.
And we'll roll it over to you. So you have to start making up your mind that you will be paying directly or indirectly. Yeah.
We'll be having a chat on that particular one, the implementation of the 1 cedi per litre petroleum levy here on the show with the GRA. We want to understand the nuances about this particular tax. So do stay with us here on the AM show as we go through that education. We'll be back with more.
Hello there, you're watching the AM show, and thank you for staying with us all through. Time now to celebrate Alpha Beta Education Centers and get to know what they have been up to, especially for their corporate social responsibility. And joining me in studio is Dr. Naomi Ejapon, School Director of Alpha Beta Education Centers, and of course an esteemed alumnus, Ruth Abochi. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today on the show. I'd ask what Alpha Beta Education Centers have been up to, particularly for corporate social responsibilities.
So thank you for having us. So Alpha Beta, many people may have heard the name before. It's been around for 37 years, so we have a very long track record of academic success, but also of success in our community. We're based in Dansoman, and we've had thousands of students attend our school over the years. And a lot of them have graduated and are successfully working in the spaces that they're in globally, not just in Ghana. Of course, today we're grateful to have Ruth Abochi joining us as one of our alumni. But over the years, we've done a lot of things to impact our community, not just in Dansoman, but the wider community as well. The most recent, we celebrated our 35th anniversary 2 years ago, and we initiated something called the STEM 35 Legacy Project. And in that project, the aim was to create a STEM Center of Excellence at Alpha Beta, where we provide programs, facilities, and initiatives that would inspire young people to take up STEM careers. We're very passionate about raising leaders for Africa. So we run something called the Dinkrahene Leadership Program, which we've been running for the last 11 years, with fantastic results. You know, we provide opportunities for students to develop personally, whether it's through, leading at school, coming up with events or initiatives at school that are student-led, our internship programs, our community service programs. That's what led us to the STEM 35 Legacy Project. So after running an entrepreneurship program for about 9 years, we realized that one of the skills that the students were lacking was to be able to build things from scratch. So we have something at school called the Student Market, which is held annually. So students run businesses. I think Ruth has run businesses in the past, but we realized there was a lot of buying and selling.
Okay.
So we decided to add the STEM component to make sure that students could build things from scratch. We realized students were coming up with great ideas, but they were then relying on other people to be able to implement those ideas, and we wanted them to be able to do that themselves. So the STEM 35 Legacy Project was born out of that. But more than that, at 35, we're also looking at how we could impact our community more deeply. So we came up with something called the STEM Champions Program for Girls.
Okay.
And what that does is it's a after-school STEM program for public school girls. So we started off with a pilot of 25 girls last year, and we've been able to scale that up to 60 girls that just completed the program this year. And it's fantastic just to see, you know, how inspired they come out of that. So it's really just exposing them to the world of STEM for them to be able to make a decision about whether they want to pursue STEM-related subjects in secondary school. And we just finished a cohort of 60. Very, very exciting time. And just to hear their stories, you know, how that experience has shaped how they're thinking about STEM going forward. Some don't even realize how broad STEM is, and so we're very excited to see.
What did you call this? The first cohort that's just graduated. What is STEM?
That's the second cohort.
There's a second cohort of this particular project.
Yes.
Okay. STEM what? What did you call it?
It's called the STEM Champions Program for girls.
Okay. Okay. Now, tell me, has been your experience, Elise, as an alumna, generally with Alpha Beta?
I would say that Alpha Beta has really feels like Alpha Beta has prepared me for life, because I spent, with the leadership program that Doctor was talking about, I spent all 7 years of my secondary education doing that leadership program. So through that, I was able to learn to develop my CV. I've been able to get a lot of internships. I've also been able to participate in competitions. I've been able to do a lot of outreach. There's a lot of things that I'm really, really proud of. And I believe that it's really thanks to the program that I was able to do that, because one of the primary skills that I was able to develop was my leadership skills. And that's what helped to really build me up to be the person that I am today. Because when I first started in year one, I was very shy, very awkward, not very confident, but we did a lot of group work, presentations. We went on trips to different regions where we spoke to people in different villages, got to learn about their problems and also propose solutions, all these kinds of things. And so each year was something new. As Doctor mentioned, there was also the student market. So yes, I was able to participate in that. That also helped with my business skills, critical thinking skills. There have been a lot of opportunities that each step of my academic journey has been able to build me up until what I've been able to achieve today. And also, of course, academically, I've also been very strong. I was able to receive recognition by the British Council for...
Congratulations.
Yes,
coming later, Sarah.
Yes, for achieving good results in A-level geography. So it was also thanks to the good staff that are there, got a lot of support academically as well. So those are the main things that I'm really grateful for Alpha Beta.
But share with me what you did for the marketplace. Is it what you call it?
Yeah, student market. Student
market.
Yes.
Right.
So it's basically where the school gets students to pitch their businesses. So you come up with a whole business idea, you plan everything, you put your team together. So for one of the last one that I did, I was actually the CEO of my business, and so we. It develops your skills in trying to understand what does the market want. So what will students want to buy? What are they looking for? And so you pitch that to a panel, and then there's a whole process where you get mentorship up all the way until the day of the market fair, where you basically just have to go all out and try and sell what you can and put your business plan into action.
You have learned something that will take us so many years to acquire. You start from HND degree, MBA before you can get to that. So well done. But Doug, let's talk about the community libraries that you're also involved in.
So we run a series of programs. So we have 2 community libraries, one in the Eastern region in JKT, one in Dansoman. Although we have that library, we also do a lot of, it's around the corner from the school. So we still do a lot of work with the school students on our campus as well as in the library. But a lot of the programs are morphing. So even though we have the libraries, we want to have sort of active reading programs. And of course, now we're doing STEM as well. But we also, for our libraries, we generally tend to get our students to go and volunteer. We try and create students to be, who will be community minded. So a lot of the time we're pushing them out of their comfort zone and saying, what can you do to help? So sometimes they'll go and they'll volunteer in the library, or they'll go and they'll run programs at the schools, both in Accra and outside Accra as well.
Well, Doc, thank you for joining us today on the show, sharing the success story of course, the popular Alpha Beta Education Center as well. You're located in Dansoman. Yes. It's a school that we shouldn't even be saying that we don't know. I'm certain that a lot of people watching us today know about it. And thank you for what you're doing for the community. And Ruth, all the best as well.
Thank you very much.
You're watching the AM show. Please stay. That's more on the show. Welcome back and thank you for joining us here on the AM show. So did you know that lead poisoning, taking the lives of at least over 1.5 million people, taking the lives of people that you know have died from non-communicable diseases? I bet you didn't know this. We sat and had a conversation with Pure Earth, an NGO, seeking to at least heal the earth of such poisoning. And here's what they had to say. Hello there, welcome back to the show and thank you so much for staying with us. So let's talk about this very important or serious matter. You may have seen it, you may have heard it somewhere in the news, but you didn't know that it was this serious. Today, let's put some seriousness on it. So if you're far from your TV, come closer and let's talk about this. Lead poisoning, quite a painful one, very silent, you may have not known. But today, we get to understand what lead poisoning or lead pollution is, which is taking the lives of a little over 1.5 million people. They die. And guess what? If you combine HIV and malaria together, it's not even up to this number. This is why we must talk about this. And today, to get a bit more education and what Ghana or what persons who are interested in this matter are doing to at least curb the situation, joining me is president of the non-profit organization focused on tackling lead and mercury pollution, Pure Earth, Andrew Makata. And also here is country director of Pure Earth, Esmond Kwanzaa. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I've heard in the news, especially because in Ghana, galamsey is very prevalent. And so we may have heard, but we may have not put a lot of seriousness in this. I'll start with you, Esmond. Tell us exactly what lead pollution is. Let's put some understanding to it before we get into how widespread it is.
Right. Thank you very much for having us again. And the media outlet has been a partner with Pure Earth for some time now. So lead pollution is a global issue, not affecting only Ghana. Usually lead, it's a heavy metal, but it's also malleable. And it can be recycled. It can also be intentionally or unintentionally, added to consumer products. And when that happens, we say lead pollution has occurred. So your car battery, for example, you have 75% of your car battery is made up of lead. Now, when your car battery reaches the end of life, what happened to it?
Maybe the car won't start.
Okay, so probably you put it out there and I'll give it to your mechanic or somebody. Where does this end up?
Oh, yeah.
Now, when this is recycled in informal way, it ends up polluting the environment. It becomes a pathway of exposure.
Okay.
Same with the consumer products we're talking about. We are not supposed to have lead does not play any role in any consumer items. So when you find lead in consumer items like medicine, like eyeliner, traditional eyeliners, like utensils, then it becomes a pathway of exposure. And when that happens, it leads to poisoning. So the numbers you are throwing out, as a result of lead pollution, you get poisoning. And then it leads to complications.
Okay, now I'm afraid because I want eyeliner today. Andrew, let me come to you. I would have thought that we should be concerned only in Ghana, but I'm just learning that it's a global issue. You want to tell me how widespread lead pollution is?
Sure, yeah. This is an issue that affects countries around the world, low and middle income countries in particular. So it's not just Ghana. Countries across Asia, Africa, and Latin America are all struggling with this issue, and awareness is very low today. Fortunately, awareness is growing quickly at this point. But for example, lead is taking 5 or 6% of global mortality. Can you imagine something with so little awareness taking such a massive health toll? Nearly 1 billion children in the world have a concentration of lead in their blood that exceeds the World Health Organization's threshold for intervention in the child's life. So it's really a massive public health issue.
I see. I mean, Esmond, I know that you've just mentioned a few of the things that could be the sources. Let's get a little bit into that. You mentioned if, for example, car battery, if recycled informally, this will mean that there's a way we can handle some of these things that will not lead to lead pollution. So let us in a bit more on that.
Yes. So usually the lead in car battery, if recycled in a formal way, according to laid down procedure, it would not lead to pollution. So what POET has been doing on the global stage and also in Ghana is working with the authorities, the government agencies. One thing about POET is that our mission is to partner the government and the community and industry leaders to find solutions to toxic heavy metal pollution like lead. So POET has been working with the agencies here to strengthen regulation to ensure that the lead use battery acids are recycled in a very safe and sustainable way that will not lead to pollution.
Okay. Andrew, but of course, I like to think that some people are more at risk, or everybody is at risk. Is that it?
No, people are more at risk than others. For example, if you live in an industrial zone where car batteries are being recycled unsafely, you'll certainly be more at risk. And actually, Pure Earth has tested the blood of thousands of Ghanaians to see the disparities and the geographical differences. And we found that kids were particularly at risk when they lived in industrial zones. But other hotspots emerged also. So kids in the northern region had high concentrations of lead in their blood, and there isn't much industry up there, not a lot of car battery recycling. So we're currently investigating what kind of consumer products might be exposing them to lead.
I mean, I know that you're a researcher, but on top of your mind, what do you think would be contributing to that?
We think that food and consumer goods are probably a significant pathway for exposure. So for example, we've tested lots of market goods, and we found lead in traditional eyeliners. Sometimes it's called kohl or kajal or chilo in Ghana. And these traditional eyeliners often contain lead.
Right. Consumables. In my little readings, I've been learning that ayelo, white clay. Is this true?
I think it's an area that we are learning more. There have been some levels of concentration of lead found in that, but it's still an area under study. A lot of detailed studies being done to ascertain the extent of heavy metal contamination in the ayelo, the one the pregnant women chew, right? Yes.
But let's talk about Pure Earth more. Particularly, what is your focus in this? Maybe Andrew.
Sure. So we focus on preventing human exposure to toxic chemicals, but right now we're really focused on two chemicals. Lead, because it is by far the chemical that takes the biggest toll on global health. But we also focus on mercury, which we know is a challenge here in Ghana as well, with the mining and the pollution of rivers and then the pollution of the food system. And we basically approach these chemicals with three types of interventions. Understand the level of exposure, typically through biomonitoring and health surveillance. Then understand how people are getting exposed. Is it in the environment? Is it consumer goods? Is it food? And then finally, work with government in all three stages to design solutions. Does this need a regulatory response? Is it community education that's needed? Do we need to work with industrial producers to change their practices? And fortunately, we're going to be working over the next 4 years in Ghana to do all three of those steps.
Okay, oh, that's good to know, refreshing to know. But Esmond, how difficult or easy has it been so far in trying to even bring up this conversation in Ghana, especially because of what you're researching into lead and mercury, which is almost a lifestyle thing for us in this country? What has been the response like so far? Easy, difficult?
Yeah, I would say it has been challenging, not easy and not difficult as well. POET has been working with the government of Ghana since 2007, right from the putting spotlight on the issues in Agbogboleshi, e-waste project, all the way down to the current projects that we are implementing. And as I mentioned earlier, POET mandate is to work with government agencies to be able to address these issues. And so I would say that given the scale of the issue and in terms of knowledge, I mean, across the globe, little is known about this. Most people are not aware. I would say Ghanaian government has been very, very proactive in collaborating to address the issues. I remember in 2016 to 2008, we have a small project with the Ghanaian government on an action plan on health and environment pollution. And I think that action plan actually laid the way to tackle these issues head on. And then after that, we had a project, Every Child Potentials, Protecting Every Child Potential project. And that project was also very well accepted by government. And I'm happy to say that out of that project, we had developed action plan against lead poisoning in Ghana.
Okay.
And this was signed to by Ghana Health Service, Pure Earth, and UNICEF, with the blessing from both Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Health. So this has been an excellent approach so far.
Andrew, I'll come to you. Let's stay with Esmond a little longer. Let's stay here in Ghana and let's see how you intend to decentralize this education or even trying to curb the situation. Andrew introduced us to about 3 stages of how you're going to be doing this, engaging government and all of that. Let's talk about local communities. Do you have any plan in how to deal with this at the local community level?
Great. So Pure Earth has a 5 pillars, let me say 5-pillar approach to tackling this issue. One is the health surveillance, the second is source analysis, and the third one is about designing source-specific interventions to address the issues that were revealed through the study. And then the 4th one is communication.
Okay.
So communication is very key, collaborating with the government agencies to create awareness about the meanings of this issue.
Okay.
Currently, there's a project being implemented across the industrial zones of Greater Accra, Afenya, and Pong, because our study revealed alarming records of lead poisoning in children under 5 in those communities. So we are working with Ghana Health Service, Ghana Standards Authority, and Environmental Protection Authority to provide training to environmental inspectors, provide education and awareness to community members, and we are doing this through a network of community volunteers who would be in charge of raising awareness. We are providing training to about 1,200 school children in that enclave, because we believe that when the community is aware, they can put pressure on their elected representatives to drive policy actions at the top.
Okay, that's good to know. And now back to you. Let's talk about how people probably underestimate the impact of lead poisoning. Have you come across? How surprising are you? And what are you doing to at least mitigate how much people underestimate this impact?
Sure. The main challenge with lead is that it's invisible. It's invisible in a couple of ways. If it's contaminating your local soil, you can't see it. If it's in your consumer products, your medicine or your foods, you can't see it. Even once it's in your body, the impacts on the body are tough to diagnose. So it's kind of invisible in that way as well. And then all of this means that it's kind of invisible to the public in terms of awareness. So we're trying to make the invisible visible.
Right.
We're collecting data from across Ghana to make sure that everyone understands this is the severity, this is the level of lead in children, and this is the kind of health impacts that causes. It causes a permanent loss of IQ in children, permanent brain damage. It causes adults to die early from cardiovascular disease. So we're trying to make the effects visible. But also, as soon as we implement solutions, we try to highlight those so people can see this is what's being done by your government, this is how we're helping, and this is how you can protect your family and your children in your home. These are the hygiene solutions. This is what is important about combating dust coming into your home, because dust can carry lead. So it's just a big process of making the invisible visible in multiple levels, in government, in industry, civil society, and of course in communities.
Okay. I mean, finally, Esmond, I know that you launched last week. Which part of the project did you launch last week?
Yeah, so we've inaugurated a lead technical working group in Ghana.
Okay.
This is being spearheaded by EPA.
Okay.
And Pure Earth is playing a facilitation role with funding support to ensure that the issues of lead poisoning or heavy metal poisoning in general are coordinated from a central position.
Okay.
As you might know, NCDs or non-communicable diseases are among the top killers, and so there's a lot more attention going toward that direction. And if you look at that, lead it's play an important role among those kind of diseases. And so having a body at the center of this, coordinating resources, planning, programming, would ensure that the issues are addressed and tackled head on.
Andrew, finally, from tomorrow, say after this interview, anybody watching us, what are we going to be seeing? What are we going to be hearing about this?
So fortunately, we have secure funding for 4 years of a dramatic expansion of the work that we've been doing. So you will see your government taking a leadership role, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Environment, Ghana Standards Authority, and others, conducting health surveillance that very few middle-income countries have ever taken before, a nationally representative blood lead level survey.
Okay.
So this is rather novel in the world. You'll be seeing groups, Pure Earth and others in the government agencies, going to markets and testing everything that could be causing exposure. And then you'll be seeing policy, regulatory, environmental, and other types of intervention taking place at hotspots.
You both are amazing. Thank you for talking to us today. And we've been talking to Andrew and Esmond from Pure Earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay with us. There's more on the show.
All right, so you're still watching the AM show on the Joy News channel, and a reminder that the show is sponsored by Waylead Properties, and we pride ourselves with providing quality housing at affordable cost and with flexible payment options. So take advantage and own that dream house of yours, and you can also put a good investment into our project. Let's do the big stories now. Starting today, the government of Ghana is beginning the implementation of the new 1 cedi fuel levy as part of measures to generate revenue for the energy sector and to address arrears within the value chain. This morning, we engaged the GRA to understand their level of preparedness, the systems in place to ensure compliance, and most importantly, the projected revenue expectations from this policy. Also, on this particular segment, the Institute of Democratic Governance and, the One Ghana initiative are calling for immediate actions on what happened in the Ablekuma North, rerun of 19 polling stations there. We'll come to that later, but let's now start the implementation of a 1 Ghana cedi levy, because earlier you heard us speak to a passenger on a car that was expressing thought about this particular levy. What do you make of that? But let's get into it and start talking to the GRA. Yeah.
Right, and so we're talking to Napoleon Simmons, Chief Revenue Officer, Policy and Programs, Customs Division, responsible for downstream petroleum operations. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Today is the big day for all of us, for us as citizens and you as well, implementers. Tell me, how prepared are you for today and beyond?
Okay, thank you. So for the implementation of the Energy Sector Levies Act as amended, Act 2025, Act 1141, we have always been ready. We're supposed to start the implementation in the second window of June, and then government asks us to hold on. But it is that we are implementing a tax that we are already collecting. What is going to happen today is to increase the rate. There's going to be an increment in the rate of the tax we are collecting, which is the Energy Sector Shortfall and Debt Repayment Levy. So since June 2025, we implemented the Energy Sector Shortfall and Debt Repayment Levy. And today, what is happening is that the rate of that tax has been increased by 1 cedi on super, 1 cedi on diesel, and then 20 pesos on MGO local, and 20 pesos on residual fuel oil. And that is what we are implementing. So already we are okay. The OMC is lifting this morning, are lifting the product, and the taxes are calculating on the product they are lifting. So we've already been, we've always been set, just waiting for government go ahead to implement. So that is what we are. So we are implementing as at this morning.
I want to get something right. Did you say that you've already been collecting this from June and that this is only an increment to 1 cedis?
Yes, so we already be collecting the tax, which is energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy. This tax was a consolidation of an existing taxes that we've been collecting already. So before the coming into force of this act, which is Act Energy Sector Levies Act 2025 at 1135, we're collecting energy sector recovery levy, energy sector debt recovery levy, and then pollution and sanitation levy. Then there was another collection on price stabilization levy by NPA. So this act consolidated all those taxes to make it one tax rate, and that is energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy. So we have implemented this already, and we have started collecting this since 1st June. What is happening today is the increment of that that particular tax by 1 cedi for super, 1 cedi for diesel, 20 pesos for MGO local, and 20 pesos for residual fuel oil. So like I said, it is a tax we are already collecting. What is happening today is for us to configure our system to collect the additional rate that has been amended, that came into effect by the amendment of the Energy Sector Levies Act 2025 Act 1141.
So if you say we are increasing by 1 cedis, it means that the old one is still there and we are adding 1 cedis to it, right?
Exactly. So the old one where the taxes were collecting under the energy sector levy since over the years. So those various taxes are for specific financing within the energy sector. What happened was that that particular taxes were consolidated into one, and the tax rate, the tax code changed to be energy sector shortfall and debt repayment, which we started implementing 1st June. So what happened after the minister went to Parliament is to make to do an increment to this tax, and that is what brought about the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025 Act 1141. What this act did was to add 1 cedi, additional 1 cedi per liter to super, and another 1 cedi to diesel, and then 20 pesos to MGO local, and then 20 pesos to residual fuel oil.
Okay, all right. Now, what mechanisms are in place to track and account for the collection of this 1 cedi, levy by the OMCs?
Okay, so the existing mechanism, like I said, we have been using to collect the tax is same that we are going to use, because what has been done is just to increase the rate of the tax. So we have systems where the OMCs lift the products, and then that same system allows the OMC to do a declaration to us and make payment for the liftings they have done. So nothing is changing. It's the same existing protocols we are using to make sure that we collect this additional 1 cedi.
So it means that as they start lifting this morning, you expect to receive the taxes on it at the end of the month?
Yeah, exactly. We expect to receive the increment of the taxes on the liftings.
Okay. Now, we also know that there are shortfalls in terms of the reporting of how much taxes in terms of the liftings, because that brought about the issue that I don't want to mention a company's name. But you do know what was happening, in some time when someone was contracted to monitor that. How sure are we that the liftings would correspond in actual sense with how much taxes that the state it will be expecting from this?
Okay, so like you said, we all don't want to go into, but then, like I said, this petroleum downstream sector is automated, and whatever is lifted at the depot, we have knowledge of it, It's not only on the GRA system, it's also on the NPA system because we also take margins on it. So if we are asking about how sure are we that we are going to get the maximum revenue, that's assurance that the system is automated and we do bi-weekly, bi-manual monitoring of how much has been lifted and how much has been paid and who has not paid and what sanctions are taken against those ONCs to recover those monies. So before when government sent the act, when government was passing this act, the expectation of government was to raise 3 billion. That was if we have implemented from June 16th, which is the second window. The expectation of government was 3 billion. And this expectation is premised on the consumption level of fuel at the various pumps. So now we are implementing delayed in 1 month. So we're expecting that we still will get a significant figure as close to what government is expecting or something not too far from the 3 billion expectation.
I see. What are some of the challenges you anticipate at all in this chain, especially in the collection and reporting? Do you anticipate any challenges at all?
Actually, I can't see any challenges because, like I said, we are not changing anything. It's just an increment of a rate. So the same protocol we use to be collecting the revenue is what we are using to collect this particular tax. So the same system. So we don't anticipate any challenges. And like I said, this morning OMCs are lifting, and we can see the liftings coming in with the new tax code. Increase in the tax.
Because of the peculiarity of this particular tax for the energy sector, are you able to let us know how you're collaborating with the Energy Ministry at all so that after collection, we know how the GRA intends to channel it? Is it a direct channeling or there's a certain agreement? It may not be under your purview to tell me, but let us in on how you're collaborating with the Energy Ministry because of the peculiarity of this collection.
Okay, so what I can say is this collection are earmarked as an earmark account, which has been opened by the Controller and Accountant General. So whatever payment is made in respect of these taxes goes into those accounts. Per the act, we are supposed to also make we are account for whatever we have collected through the expiry before Parliament, where the energy minister is also seen as an invited guest to look at the collections we have done. So at ministry level, at the ministry where we are at the Ministry of Finance, we are set to come out a report to show how much has been collected over the and same reported to the Parliament of Ghana.
Well, what's really the even OMC defies any of this or does not account properly or does not engage with you properly or does not go through how the GRA expects us to go through? What are some of the, maybe I should use the word, punishment or I'm not finding the correct word.
Punitive measure.
Punitive measures.
Okay, so the punitive measures as a GRA, we have a lot of measures we have put in place to make sure that when an OMC lifts the product and is supposed to pay and couldn't pay, the ways to do is because most of these products they are lifting are covered by bank guarantee or insurance bond. So we can follow on the bank guarantee or the insurance bond to recover any amount shortfall when they don't pay. Also, we have in our law to prosecute, which we are currently prosecuting some OMCs that are owing. But like I said, whatever we are doing, the systems that we are using to collect the taxes, the petroleum taxes over the years is the same system we are going to use to manage and collect this same, the new tax. So the punitive measures as captured in our law are well spelled out, and those are the ones we will be using to follow up to make sure that all the OMCs account for whatever they have lifted.
The OMCs are lifted today. It's been a few hours in the morning. I know that you say that you've been doing this already for years. There is an increment, as you indicated. Has it been smooth so far this morning?
Yes, like I said, I'm by my machine and I can see a lot of OMCs doing loadings, and all those loadings are captured by the new task, the increment. So, yes.
So if you're by your machine, that should be interesting to you. So you're seeing real life how many letters that are being picked, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
But it's too early in the morning because a lot of the liftings are done going into the afternoon because the liftings that are done at the depot is a transaction between the OMCs and the people they are buying from, which is the BDC. So most of those transactions are done within the morning, and then you see them coming in to load. So as I said, we have some loading, but the loading will pick up as the day goes by.
Well, so from the screen you're watching, how many letters have been lifted so far?
I can't really tell you because I have to do a report, which I can't just do on the set.
Just that it would have been beautiful that for the Ghanaian people who really, whose taxes, go into management of the economy and then who are to pay these taxes, will be able to see real firsthand what's happening. Since you are our eye there, you could have let us know what's happening in there.
Yes, I much agree with you. But we can do this another time when we have seen so far how much has been loaded. Then we can come and tell you after the implementation, these are the volumes we are seeing and these are the money we are seeing. But currently, as it is, I can't really do that. Thank you.
Will the GRA do, frequent public engagement, updating us and all of that, or you will leave that to the ministry?
Okay, so in terms of frequent engagement, prior to the implementation of these new levies, which was suspended, we had a lot of engagement with the Chamber of Oil Marketing Company, where we took them through the new tax that is coming, the increment, and how it's going to play out when they are lifted. Then we also engage the bigger body, which is the oil marketing company and the LPG marketing companies, who are the players that pay the taxes that is due on the liftings. And I think with GRA, we'll continue to do stakeholder engagement, and we will continue to do more sensitization as the year goes by. This year, we have plans of doing more sensitization, and we are planning of doing some online sensitization where we are doing recordings of our processes for people to understand our processes and appreciate it. So, yes, we will not leave it only for the ministry. As GRA, as an authority, we have that obligation to educate our taxes, our taxpayers.
Okay.
Beyond the education, say, for example, 3 months collection, would you tell us, oh, in the last 1 month, this is how much you've collected, this is how much you've been reported and all of that, beyond the education?
How much we've collected so far?
Maybe.
Like I said, it wasn't part of the...
No, not now. I mean, subsequently, does the GRA envisage engaging with us, telling us how much collections has been so far? Not particularly.
Yes, we are always available to engage and explain and tell you how much we have collected so far as this new tax is concerned. That's when the request comes. As and when the request comes, we are available to do that.
Quite interesting. I'm sure you've engaged the stakeholders involved in all of this. Does it come across to you that indeed everything has been tightly, sealed for a smooth implementation of this?
Yes, like I said from the beginning, this is a tax we are already collecting. All right.
But you are aware that even though this is a tax you're already collecting, but there was that uproar in the Ghanaian public about it when it was introduced.
Yes, so the uproar is about the increment, but it has nothing to do with how to collect it. So how to collect it is well known. It's about the increment and where people think the increment that is going to come is to, within the context, people want to find out why the introduction of this and those are our policy, which I don't want to go into because I am just to speak to how we are going to implement and collect it. So like I'm saying, there won't be any challenge because we are just calibrating the system to calculate, to collect the new addition, which we have done already. And this morning, like I told you, the collection is going on. So there is nothing that we anticipate to face. But then, as authority, we have in place mechanisms to be able to engage our students in case there are issues. So we have a WhatsApp platform where we have the technical people that assisted daily when there are issues on the liftings. We also have a platform with the oil market companies where they have issues, also attend to them. So we broadly a lot of means gauge the stakeholders within the industry to assist them when any issue comes up.
Okay, all right. We're grateful to you, Napoleon, for joining us with this on this conversation. We hope that there's that smooth implementation. As you do say, you are watching real hand how many liters are being paid. We hope that at the end of the month, Ghana is able to reap exactly how much we
so that we all become happy as citizens when all the issues within the energy sector is solved. So that when I close from here to get to the house,
you have light.
So Napoleon, you can't snooze at all. This morning you cannot shut your eye for a second.
No, not really. What I'm saying is, we hope that we are able to get enough from this task so it can help us to fix the issues in the energy sector.
Okay, all right. So finally, maybe I want you to re-intimate this for me. Is that no? It's not intimate.
Reiterate.
Reiterate it for me. My goodness, this morning because I ate cassava and some palava sauce there. But I mean, in terms of reporting, must we export reporting coming to us at the end of every month in terms of how much has been accrued so far? Is that the arrangement?
So in GRA authority, we always monthly report of our revenue. We do weekly report of our revenue to management and to the ministry. So how much will be collected will be known because every month we do the monthly report of how much we've collected on all the type, which this task is also included.
All right. We'll be keeping an eye on this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I mean, it's quite interesting that, you know.
Let's just remind people who he is.
Yeah.
Napoleon Simmons is Chief Revenue Officer, Policy and Programs, Customs Division, responsible for downstream petroleum operations. I love his job.
Yeah.
Like you can't, if you imagine you were doing his job.
I have to keep my eye on the computer. Is Napoleon? He says that's what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
His eye is on the computer like that. He's not blinking. My goodness. I don't
I know I'm coming to talk to you. I need to check and know that my systems are working so that I can respond very well to you. And like I have assured you, we are fine because we are already implementing the task. It's just an increment and everything is going well this morning. Thank you.
But Simon, I don't envy you at all this morning, because you cannot take your eye off the computer, the one that is reading real time what's happening on the pumps.
Because I have to check to be able to assist my stakeholders when any issue come up.
Charlie, this time I'm sure you feel like whether I would sleep in doom or I would sleep in so, it lies on you, right?
And be rest assured that when the revenues come in, we'll make it available. It will be accounting for it to be used for the intended purpose.
So if you blink, can they lift without you seeing? I mean...
Yes, they can. They can. The systems are automated and well connected. So they really don't need me. I'm just around to make sure that whenever any issue comes up, we are able to
we get it now. We get it. So you don't really have to sit there watching. You will record everything. Okay.
So it means that the era when we heard that the liftings at MPA was not corresponding with the liftings at GRA in terms of the payment of taxes is over. We won't have that again.
Yeah, because in those areas was when the sector wasn't automated. We haven't digitized the sector. So that was when government, both GRA system and NPA system was integrated together, make sure that we are able to see whatever happening at both sides. So that whatever thing happens at the depot, we have interest, NPA have interest, everybody see it, and then we can be able to reconcile them and know that these are the numbers going forward. Okay.
So, I mean, those days when we couldn't monitor that, how much were we losing? Do you know?
I can't see that out of
You can have that offered. Okay. All right. I mean, we are grateful to you today for spending this time for us to understand what's happening. Grateful.
All right. Thank you.
Napoleon Simons is Chief Revenue Officer, Policy and Programs at the GRA. Well, you know what? Earlier today, our colleague KMJ on the Joy Prime Morning sat in Trotro from Newtown and engaged with, some passengers as well as drivers to understand what they do make of this levy, which has come into effect today. Because today, as you buy the fuel, you are paying 1 Ghana cedi on a liter of petrol or diesel, and you're also paying 20 pesos on, he says, MGO local, and also what they call residual oil. So that's the payment. Now, let's go to KMJ now and witness his interaction on the Trotro. I mean, I'm excited by him being on the Trotro, interaction with passengers and drivers there. Watch this.
Today happens to be the day that is going to be implemented. Don't forget that sometime on the 16th of June, this levy, which is the fuel levy, was supposed to have been implemented. Now, there were concerns from Ghanaian stakeholders and was postponed indefinitely for stakeholder conversations to actually go on before eventually it comes back again. But like I said, a lot of things have been said about it. A lot of stakeholder meetings have been had about it. And finally, today it's going to take effect. GRA will be looking at how they are going to implement that from their angle as well. But are the people ready to actually pay this, fuel levy as the drivers, the Trotro drivers, commercial, private drivers, ready to actually accept this? Now, that's the conversation we're trying to have this morning. And so I'm taking a trip from Newtown, Accra Newtown, to other places to find out exactly what people think about the levy, the new 1 Ghana cedis that they are supposed to be paying. Now, are the pump stations also going to be increasing their prices? We're going to be looking at all of that and what the drivers also make of the situation. So I'm on board a car that is moved from Newtown right now. It's a Trotro that is moved from Newtown right now, and we're headed now. Passengers are in here, and I want to also find out from them the understanding of the levy and the 1 Ghana cedi, and if the pumps increase it, the drivers are also going to increase it, and they would have to actually pay for it. Are they ready to actually pay for that amount of money if that increment comes from the drivers and it falls on them? Because obviously, if the drivers increase it, they are a lot of fare. It means that the passengers would have to pay for that. And if the fuel also increases, it means that the drivers would also be looking at increasing theirs as well. So that's the conversation we're having this morning here on Prime Morning. And I'm going to be talking to some of the passengers, like I said, to find out if indeed they have an idea about this whole levy, and if the fuel pumps increase and the drivers increase and they are supposed to pay for it, they're going to pay for it. I'm sitting next to a lady over here, so let me see if I can talk to her. Good morning.
Good morning.
Saying.
That's right.
You want to levy no what I say, fuel levy no what I say.
In a way.
I still don't say, Papa.
In a way. In a way, I understand.
You understand, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So it means that if we're supposed to pay one levy, if the drivers are supposed to pay for this, then it means that obviously the passengers would have to be paying for it. Are you ready to pay if we decide that passengers, or there's an increment?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. If it will help, why not? We will pay. Me, I'm ready to pay. No problem. Yeah,
the idea is to help solve the energy sector issue. Do you think it's something that makes sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, so she's ready to actually pay because she believes that it's going to help the country. And so if we're all deciding that we're paying 1 Ghana cedis just to help the energy sector, why not? She's going to pay for it. Let me talk to my gentleman over here and see. Chief, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
I hope you're good.
Oh, fine. Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware of the 1 Ghana cedi levy?
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware of it.
Okay. You agree to it?
Yeah, I agree, but I have some reservation. One, I want to find out whether there was much consultation. We are looking at the stakeholders. We are looking at the passengers, the drivers. Were they consulted and did they agree? Moreover, when the money is also collected, are they going to channel it at the appropriate quarters? If all these things were done and it's for the benefit for the entire country, I have no problem. On the other hand, if the money is going to be channeled into other venture, then probably people will definitely rise against it, and the government will also be a loser. So for me, it is good, but it is only good on conditions that I've just stated. The stakeholders were they consulted, and what were their comment on that? And moreover, are they going to use purposely for what they intend using it for? If they are going to do, fine. Because the energy crisis, I think all of us are facing it. And if there's going to be a remedy to that, I have no problem with that. Yeah.
With the current administration and what we have seen so far, do you think that you have that confidence in them that if you pay 1 Ghana cedis, it's going to be used for what it's intended to be used for?
Yeah, for me, politicians per se, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. But let's say we want to give them the opportunity and see if actually what they are saying, they really want to go by it. If they want to go, fair enough. But for me, politicians, I don't trust them in any way. Yeah.
You want a cut-off point, or you want it to be throughout? Or, for example, if we decide that we're paying our energy debts and we're able to raise a certain money in 2 years or 3 years, do you think that this levy should be suspended if we're able to do so, or we should continue to let it be around?
Yes, I agree on that. If a year or two and we are able to clear all the debt, fair enough, then probably it can come to a halt. That is what I think with regards to that.
All right, thank you very much. Let me see if I can go back a bit. But who can talk to me this morning? How are you doing?
Fine.
And you commute from here, Newtown, to where every morning?
Tema Station.
Tema Station. Yeah. That's where you work.
Yes, I'm a public servant. Yes, I work just service.
And how much do you usually pay?
It used to be 6 cedis. Now it's 5 cedis.
Oh, so there's been a reduction from 6 to 5.
Yes.
So that is before this levy actually.
The levy.
So it means that if the pumps increase and the drivers also increase, you're going to pay more?
Yes, it's likely we are going to pay more.
And are you ready for that?
No. I mean, when it was reduced, it brought some relief to us. But increasing it now will be a bit... will be a bit on the high side for us. And I just hope that this levy they are about to collect, they will use it for what they intend to use it for. You know, politicians, they say one thing and then do another.
Okay, so currently we have our very first stop. This is Accra High, and this is where we are right now. Passenger is trying to get down, and so we're going all the way to Tema Station, and we've been speaking to some of the passengers in the car, and they've been telling us what they think about the levy. Some people believe that it's a good thing for us to actually pay for. Others believe that, well, if they're going to use it for what it's intended for, then it's no problem. But some also believe that trusting politicians right now is a big problem. So we're still trying to find out and then see. Patrolquay, Tema Station. Okay, Chief Yafanana, Tema Station. Okay. And sorry. So this morning, I am your mate here on the Tema Station stretch. There you go. All right. So, City. So it means that as for you, you will pay it, but you're not too sure what they will use it for.
Yes, the intended purpose is the issue. If they will use it for what they say they will use it for, fine, we all pay. After whether we decide to pay or not, the levy is here. And whether you like it or not, you will pay. So you cannot decide that you will not pay. I'm just hoping that they use it for. And one thing I didn't like is the consultation wasn't much. So people didn't understand what I thought. Them suspending it, they would have used that opportunity to educate people about.
That was the reason why they suspended it. So it is believed that some consultations were done, or you think they didn't get to the passengers?
No. I don't think the consultation was really done well. But I hope and pray that this new government will give them the opportunity. I mean, they are now in. So we give them the opportunity to, let them make us trust them. Okay. That's all.
You think they've been transparent enough to Ghanaians so far?
It's been 50-50. So We are hoping. Yeah, so we are hoping and praying that they keep their word and then not make us regret.
They don't want the government to make them regret, and that's what a lot of people are believing, that the government will do what they have said that they want to be doing. Don't forget that this was supposed to have happened on the 16th of June, and there were a lot of concerns from Ghanaians and stakeholders, and it was postponed indefinitely. We're hoping that it was not even going to come back again, but then it is here with us again. But are the people ready to actually pay for this? Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay. You also commute from Newtown every morning?
Yes, please.
To Tema Station?
To Ridge.
So how much do you pay for that?
5 cities.
Oh, it's still the same 5 cities?
It used to be 6 cities, but now 5.
No matter where you're getting off, you're still paying the same amount everybody's paying to the last stop, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. It means that if we're paying 1 Ghana cedis, you're going to pay more later if the drivers decide that they're going to put that burden or that amount of money on the passengers. Are you ready?
Well, I'm ready. Since the money they are taking is going to be for the betterment of our future, so I'm in for it. Yeah.
Do you believe that the monies will be used for what they're supposed to be used for?
Well, I don't think they will be saying that they need to play with our funds. And besides, I'll be getting down very soon, so I'll get down here. Yeah. I hope they'll use it for what they intend to use it for, because I don't think they'll be taking our monies and then not use it for what they want to use it for. So.
But at least transparency-wise, you think that they have done enough for you to believe them?
Well, I think so. For the past few months, I think they've been doing much, so I'm hoping.
All right, so please be careful. There's a gutter over here, so be careful. All right, so we're still here. We're still commuting. We have left Newtown. We have Ridge right now. And this is where passengers are getting down. And we're still engaging them to find out what they think about the new levy, which is the 1 Ghana cedi that we're all supposed to be paying. Now, the pumps will increase it. If they do, it means that the drivers will also increase it. And it's all going to go into the packets of the passengers. Are the passengers ready to actually pay for this amount of money? And that's the question we're asking this morning right here on this trip.
All right, this is still the AM show. As you watch there, our colleague KMJ engaging some Ghanaians on this new 1 Ghana cedi per litre levy that has been introduced, and the implementation starts today. I mean, it looks like people have an understanding of what it is, and they are rather cautioning that the government will put to use this monies that will accrue from this levy for the exact reasons why they brought it. Ghanaians are willing to pay more. I always say that if you are constructing roads and people see it, they won't object to pay road tolls. Of course. So that's what government should learn from.
As for this levy, it's not killing Tiao. That's a bit here.
Killer cannot decide not to pay.
But anyway, are you looking for a home in a prime location? Nestor's Homes has got you covered. Our properties in Tema Community 26, just behind Palace Mall, offer a serene atmosphere, easy access to transportation routes and social amenities. Off-plan prices starts at USD 35,000 USD. Contact them today on 053 101 4440. I'll take that number again, 053 101 4440 or 053 101 4447. You can as well visit them on their website, www.nestes.com.gh. Tell you about centers.
Well, let's talk about water tanks. You know what? Do you know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. I'm going to tell you now. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. That's right. The tortoise tank, Syntex tank, is a champion of water tanks. It is strong and durable, and it's built to handle our Ghanaian weather. Now, rain or shine, Syntex tank has your back. So, my people, go outside, check on that tank of yours, and if it doesn't have a tortoise on it, it's time to upgrade. Join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that tough like a tortoise. Give us a call now, 0244 335168, 0244 335168 to buy now or find one of our 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntax tank, a strong, a tough. That's it.
Well, let's tell you about Institute of Democratic Governance and the Civic Forum Initiative as it expresses worry. We'll be telling you details about that worry a bit later if you stay with us here on the AM show. Reason to stay with us. We'll be back shortly. You're watching the AM show, and thank you for staying with us all through. Now, are you looking to do things differently to level up your skills and get ahead in this challenging job market? Well, statistics show it's tough out here for university graduates with only a few landing jobs immediately after school. Now, doing things differently is what the Design and Technology Institute, DTI, is all about. DTI offers programs ranging from precision welding and fabrication, design innovation, graphic design, sound engineering, animation, photography, and many more. Entrepreneurship. Our programs are internationally recognized by the American Welding Society, Pearson, BTech, and CT Vet. Also, you can shine here in Ghana or anywhere in the world. So, if you're ready to do things differently and chart your path, check out DTI. Visit dtiafrica.com/admissions or call 0504-169-3534 for more information. Now, are you also ready to dream, dare, and deliver in the world of IT? Could you tell you more?
Well, if that's your dream, then look no further than the Jackson Institute of Technology, JIT, the only NIIT authorized training center here in our beautiful Ghana. At JIT, we provide world-class IT training for individuals and corporate organizations, equipping you with industry-relevant skills in software development, cybersecurity, networking, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, digital marketing, and more. We offer globally recognized certifications, practical job-ready training, and flexible hybrid learning options, which allows you to study online and on-site. Our expert instructors ensure hands-on learning experiences that prepare you for success in today's digital world. Conveniently located on the Ring Road near Circle in the heart of Accra's Central Business District, and in Kumasi or Sacrum at Jackson Educational Complex headquarters, Ayediase near the KNUST. JIT provides easy access for students and corporate clients. Our state-of-the-art auditorium is also available for corporate events, seminars, and training sessions. Call us or WhatsApp us on 0596 99 60 37, 0596 99 60 37, or 0596 99 60 38, or 0552 71 46 35. Also visit our website at JIT, that's jit.edu.gh. JIT, your gateway to a thriving IT career.
Well, so could you, at least nearly globally, red on the road would mean stop. But here in Ghana, red means go. And here's why. Crashes involving motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, are spiraling. In the first 2 months of this year, 1,079 crashes were recorded, a sharp rise from 883 during the same period in 2024. It's a grim sign that indiscipline among motor riders is accelerating faster than the country's response. Emmanuel Jivenu has more in our feature titled, Red Means Go.
At major intersections in Accra, the red light does not always mean stop. It is often just a color on a pole, and for some commercial motorcycle riders, popularly known as Okada, it is a race against the law and sometimes against life itself. In broad daylight at La Paz, a motorcyclist jammed the red light, swerved onto the pedestrian pathway, and rode straight into oncoming traffic. I saw it happen, and we followed him.
It's our turn to go, you understand, for the U-turn. And that's why I come to that line where the cars they've blocked that road, and I'm here is my working place. So that's why I said no, they make her come, because here there is my area. So I go feel move, come in it.
But was it right?
No, it's not right. They come around there, it's not right. I was having train.
At Medina Zongo Junction, the story was same, if not worse. Riders dart across intersections, one narrowly escaped being hit, not once, but twice, as the light stays red. Paul Kwesi has been riding for more than a decade. Medina Zongo is his base. In April 2022, the Ghana Police Service, under the then IGP, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, launched Operation Pari, which stands for Police Action Against Riders Indiscipline, came in response to alarming data. Motorcycles were the leading cause of road accidents-related deaths and the second leading cause of injuries in the country. Buzanga remembers what the Pari initiative did for his own riding culture.
The introduction of Dampare, then this red light issue came into effect, and very serious. We have been educated, and due to Dampare education, gradually, we will stop at the red light, and there is no police harassment. You see, and it has reduced a lot of this dying accident. If you don't wear helmet, it's your own case. But obey the red light. That is the law of Dampare. And this law too has benefited us a lot.
Say traffic so Dampare or the number 2 was say a so rider obi engineer. Police ni bia obeju usika bibia make sure so obonwu din na obe report. E be treasure police ni achere. The reason oji usika no. Yeah, Dampare was saying traffic is so rider obi engineer. Or the Mrabai will be agina, but Oko Accra, Sia, Omujanya Kwan, Moto. The motor phones, police no Mugane.
Police motorbike teams were stationed at key intersections. Riders were educated. For a while, the change was visible, but 3 years on, the brakes seemed to have failed.
Because of this policeman in my mind, I decided to swerve one car, not knowing that the one taking this way is green for them. You see, that was my first injury, if you can see here and here. That was my first escape of death.
Oh, I'm of Regency, anyhow, as in the breeze, see what ready was one who came across no what I've here. Regency, the car couldn't pay.
Between January and March 2025, Ghana recorded a disturbing surge in road traffic accidents. According to data from the National Road Safety Authority and the Ghana Police Service, 3,674 clashes were reported, up nearly 8% from the same period last year. These crashes involved over 6,100 vehicles and left 4,287 people injured. Even more alarming, 752 lives were lost, a 23.5% increase in deaths. These numbers paint a clear picture. Road safety is deteriorating, and unless stricter measures are enforced, particularly among vulnerable groups like motorcycle riders, the toll on human life would only continue to rise. Critics warn, without a clear mechanism to ensure that all road users, especially motorcycle riders, strictly adhere to traffic regulations, legislation could worsen the already fragile road safety situation. The question is not just about enforcement. It is about whether Ghana is ready to pull the brakes on a growing culture of recklessness. A forward-looking solution must combine strict licensing, rider education, visible policing, and technology-driven enforcement. Until then, every red light ignored is a warning signal we cannot afford to keep missing. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Accra.
All right, so that was, that feature put together by Emmanuel Jivenu there. Red means go. Now, how do we really address this? We've been joined on Zoom by Reverend Cyril Benedict Crabb. He's president, the Accident Victim Support Foundation. Grateful to you, sir, for joining us here. Now, quite a disturbing statistic there put together by, Emmanuel Jivenu. How do we deal with this?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers and listeners. Indeed, let me say congratulations to the reporter
Emmanuel Jivenu.
Yes, who put this together. We have been on the roads looking at this disturbing situation to see how best we can, put it together and bring it to the public. He's done an excellent work on this, and I'd say kudos to him. You can see clearly from all that he's captured, there is a total indiscipline on our roads, especially with Okada. And with the statistics I have from here with me, from 2014 up to last year, 2024, the Okada situation is very, very serious, and especially the disregard or the total disregard to the red light now, especially in this year, it's very, very worrisome, and one that we need to talk about. Indeed, I have personally missed.
But what does that statistic in front of you say between 2014 and 2020 with respect to the Okada situation?
So 2014, so we said the trend in motorcycle involvement in crashes from 2014 to 2024. In 2014, it was high. Up to 2024, it's too high. I mean, the trend keep on rising. Trend keep on rising. So let's say 2023, we have Okada deaths or crashes as 4,901. And then in 2024, Okada crashes involving Okada is 484. Now, the Okada fatalities from 2014, Okada fatalities from 2014 to 2024. So let's say 2014 it was 356, 2015 was 332. 2016 it was 437, 2017 453, 2018 559, 2019 518, 2020 829, 2021 915, and then it came down 2022, and then when 2022 came down to 725. And then he went up again, 939. And in 2024, Okada fatalities is 1,087. 1,087. This is up to 2024. I'm saying last year. This year, you've shown the statistics so clear. And it tells clearly that Okada is causing a lot of harm. Okada is wasting a lot of life. And it's as a result of the total disregard that we have given to traffic regulations and also the indiscipline on our roads. I must say that the moment we spoke about Okada legalization, the indiscipline increased. Why am I saying this? You clearly mentioned how the Operation Pari that Dr. Dampare brought, brought some kind of sanity on our roads. That the moment the police riders stopped, they also stopped. And for some time, about a year or two, it became inculcated, embedded, inherent in them, that when they get there, because of the police presence, they will have to stop. And you can see, just like it is done in elsewhere in this country, like the Upper East, like Temale, Bolga, and the Bono regions, they stop clearly and then they allow traffic to flow. But since Dampari left, and there was the voice of, or the announcement of Okada legalization, the discipline increased. There was total disregard. And you have titled it clearly that red means go for the Okada. Red means go for the Okada. And it is the truth. I'm not a politician. I am an ambassador for road safety. And so I would definitely speak it as it is out there. It is not a juicy, it's not palatable. Where I sit as the president for accident victim support, the complaint we get from Okada crashes, Okada accidents, Okada injuries, take it from me, it is not good at all. And I think that the earlier something is done, or the earlier we go back to the implementation, or maybe find another name for it, so that it can bring back the sanity and the discipline on our roads, the better for all of us.
Are you blaming the legalization for it? Because, the 1,087 deaths happened in 2024 when we had not legalized Okada.
I am not blaming the legalization, and I'll sit here and say that the legalization of Okada, we are all for it.
Okay.
But as we are, as Ghanaians as we are, I think that if there is something like this, we should rather sit out there or sit in our rooms and make sure we come out with everything that we need to do before we announce them, or better still, implement them. Better still, try to educate the public of what we are bringing. You remember when the toll booths closure was announced in Parliament? The moment they announced it, that very day, there was total disregard. That people do not even respect the toll booths anymore. The same thing happened to the announcement of the Okada legalization. And I'm speaking from experience and encounters that I have had. I'm currently dealing with one Okada crash. If you have allowed me, I would have brought him to your studios. He's currently, the Okada rider fled off, and this man had to battle for over 9 months. He's now limping. He has become partially disabled. And so I am saying that it is good we legalize it. It will bring some kind of sanity. But the earlier, the better, in a sense that we should put in stringent measures, even more than Operation Parry. As I talk right now, I know that there are cameras out there, but are they effective? As I talk right now, I don't see, as at yesterday, I don't see police presence police visibility on our roads. And it is making these riders indeed ride anyhow. So in this year, even though there is a change of government, I believe that the police should enforce more of the law, or we should enforce the Operation Parry more, so that these Okada riders will be guided, and it will help us a lot to save more lives.
Okay. So it's more about the implementation of the law than just leaving it to say you can go ahead to do it because it's been legalized.
Sure. We need to legalize it. We need to let them know that it is not legalized yet. Until it's legalized, until it's regulated, you see, then they will be aware. But if we don't come up with it and we just speak it as it is, making them feel that since it has been spoken, it has been done, then we are going to have these deaths and this total disregard to road traffic on our roads.
Okay.
We are Ghanaian, and we should know how.
I also proposing the reinstatement of police at traffic lights so that it would enforce the compliance of these motor riders to traffic regulations.
I will not decide for the police service. They are doing a great job. We must commend them any day, any time. But I want to say, from where I sit, as Accident Victim Support Foundation president, the visits or the encounters that we have at this moment is all about Okada. And so if the police would find something that will help at least reduce the Okada crashes and the Okada increase in fatalities, we are all for it, because we are a foundation not supported by government. We are a foundation not supported by any foreign entity to say that we have enough to support these victims who become vulnerable. But we are saying that we believe that enforcement of the law or any policy that will help regulate them, which also will go a long way to reduce the fatalities, crashes, and injuries, we are all for it. And so they should look out for what is best for motorists or road users, especially Okada.
Well, Rev, so I know that Okada, the usage of Okada hasn't been just yesterday. Some parts of the country would say that may largely depend on Okada up north, specifically maybe Tamale, because that's where I visited before. But if I pull out the data, it will suggest as though the crashes level is a bit lower in Tamale than over here. What lessons can we draw from the parts of, and correct me if I'm wrong, which lessons can we draw from the parts of the country where Okada is quite rampant or the use of motorcycle is quite rampant, but they do not record high crashes as these?
Thank you very much. Indeed, one of the excellent questions I've heard so far. In this same country, we've seen how riders handle them or manage themselves on our road. So at the end of the day, we do not record, high fatalities, injuries, or crashes. We have, before the implementation or legalization of Okada riding in this country, went to Rwanda to go and see how they handle themselves over there. I believe they came with a report. Rwanda records in total annually about less than 500 fatalities, and Rwanda uses Okada more. And if they are recording annually, their fatality rate is below 500. 500. How come we come here and we see increase more than that? As I'm talking to you, Okada contributes 30% of our annual fatality or injuries. You understand? Over 4,000 people get injured. And in here, like you have said, over there, we've seen how they manage and they regulate themselves there. I want to ask also, as you are asking, why can't we learn from the North? Or what is the police commanders there doing? Or what as the people really understand that they are using to make sure they regulate or they become too disciplined on their roads so nobody dies at the end of the day? It boils down to say, or down here, is it because we are a cosmopolitan, region? Is it because we are the capital? And if we are the capital, why can't we obey simple rules and regulations? It is also a worry to me as well. So I want to say, and I want to propose with you together, let's join our voice together, that whatever the North is doing, that they are cashing out from Okada riding and they are not losing their lives. Can we do the same here? If we have to enforce or be strict on it, just as it is done over there, then let it be so right here, and we can see a change on our roads and on our highways.
Right.
I don't know if I've answered.
You perfectly and excellently. Maybe finally, before I let you go, I know that you render a lot of support for accident victims. There seems to be a gap between the help and as well what people can do as well. Tell us what people can do to help you help people as well.
We are helping a lot of people. Thank you for the opportunity. Currently, we are looking at the 38 children who are battling their lives from the crash we had on the 28th of March. I am very much surprised that these children, 62 children got crashed, and to date, the entire country have not followed up on what happened to them. 2 of them died, 1 was amputated, 1 went into coma, and 38 of them currently are battling serious injuries going in and out. What we have heard from the accident victim support, whilst we're supporting them and giving them post-trauma stress disorder engagement, we have heard that the bus that they use, the school bus, St. Collins SHS bus that they use, was not insured. And it's a school bus, an SAH bus. So are we saying that the buses that carry these children, due diligence were not done before carrying them? They are telling me, I can send you their voice, that they paid 400 Ghana to go on that excursion. They paid if their car, this car should get spoiled. They bought fuel, but at the moment they have to battle because the driver, lost control. Accident victim support is saying these children need support, and it's becoming difficult for us to support them. We have a whole lot of support, but people that we need to support. But currently, these school children who are supposed to be future leaders of this country got involved, assuming, God forbid, they have all died, just like 2019, where we had 100 people dying in one day in Ghana, and we have since not spoken about it. Would we be okay as a country to continue our lives? For how long are we going to continue to see children die? So I will call on government, I will call on individuals, corporate Ghana, that they should engage us. Let's partner to make sure that these people that get involved, they get the compensation that is due them. Let me use the opportunity also to thank Joy News, the entire multimedia, for the support you have given us. Yes, you've given us a platform for our voice to be heard. We are looking forward that we will cash in from it. So God bless you for the question. We need the support for these children, especially 38 of them. And if you like, I can bring a session of them for you to interview them, and you will understand what we are saying.
Thank you, Rev. It will be a real pleasure. But thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on this data that Emmanuel Jivenu has just been pulling out as well on road crashes. And the question is, red means go? Thank you so much, Rev. Now, how do you all say today on the show? Now, today we've been discussing the implementation, which is taking effect. One Ghana city fuel levy. Yeah, the liter and levy keeps confusing. Yes.
So one Ghana city per liter.
Per liter levy.
No, the levy itself is the guy mentioned it. Okay. So it's called the Energy Sector Shortfall and Debt Repayment Levy.
Perfect. Yeah, we've sanitized the English for you. And then, and then as well, President Mahama has said that, listen, we are cancelling all fuel allowances for government appointees. How do you feel about these two? Should have you say 0302-211-691, 0302-211-691. Which one is exciting you? I was telling Kojo earlier that for us, for the one Ghana city, you cannot say you won't pay. You won't watch it on social media that you'll pay. You'll pay. So call us and share your thoughts.
Let me take you to Elembele, the Nzemaland, and speak to Juma. Juma, Claudia.
Oh, Yama Dominadoe.
Better, don't come walking.
Yeah, then Yama. Okay. I refer to Donoko Elegance, and I'm going to be my family work TV that will be.
Medin Dani, Bamukramete, Semani Pele, the Mahoma High Chichi. Okay, let's hear you, Juma.
All right, thank you very much this morning. I've been following the programs for all day round. I want to talk about the implementation of the 1 city levy.
Please go on.
I am an Okada rider.
Okay.
I know how it when fuel is being, and also I'm also an electricity consumer.
Okay.
So I also need to have electricity in my home. So now, come to temptation. Will I refuse to pay the 1 city and live in darkness? No. I will be like to always live in a light whenever I come back from work. So in our long run, what I'm trying to say is that it is good policy. If only the government will implement it as to where it's supposed to fit. But here's the case, Ghana, they will implement the levy, and then long run, what it's supposed to be doing is to be diverted to something else. That is what becomes worried. Once it is being implemented, it's being used as its purpose or internet purpose, we have to go. So I think it's a good initiative.
Thank you very much, Juma. You can also call us. Okay. So we have Bawa Sadiq from Yendi. Bawa, how's Yendi doing?
Yendi is doing good. The weather is really cool.
Okay. All right. Let's hear you. Have your say.
Yes, this 1 cedi per liter is a genius way to go about things, if you ask me. Yes, we all agree that things are recovering, the economy, right? The government has done a lot to make sure that the fuel has been reduced. So it's only good they capitalize on the gains now, especially that NDC or President John Dramani Mahama has the goodwill of Ghanaians to actually use the money that we saved for their intended purposes. There's a lot to be done. And he has just 4 years. And it's good he starts now. And I am from Yendi, and I believe we, the people of Yendi, support this, and we will be happy to help the country grow. Yes, right. And about the abolishment of fuel coupons for government appointees, that's also in the right direction.
Okay.
NPP had every opportunity to do so, but we all know what happened. They didn't. So if this government is trying to save some money, I think we should help them do it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. MFA.
Who do we have? Good job.
Azwa. So Azwa is joining us from Tamale, I think, yeah.
Hi, Azwa. Thank you for joining us this morning. Share your thoughts.
Am I, Kevin? Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Please share your thoughts.
Yes. You asked the CEO of accident support victims what lesson they will learn they will learn from Tamale. My humble suggestion to you people in Accra, Tamale, we have a lot of challenge with this Okada. When you get to Tamale, it's like you are seeing Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is equally vested with only motorbikes. That's as you. And when you come to Tamale, every household have, even if you have a car, you have 2 motorbikes. If the person don't have a car at all, you have a motorbike. So you see a household about 10 people, 20 people, and there is 10 motorbikes. When you are driving, here the number of cars in Tamale is not like that of Accra. However, we still have a challenge. When you travel to northern region as a driver, you cannot drive in northern region. Why? Motorbikes are crossing you here and there. But because we knew that these are the sort of people we are living with, when you are driving, you are much careful. We drive not according to the law. Excuse me, this is my language. Not according from, it's according to. So we are always mindful when we are driving in Tamale. So before you people learn a lesson from Tamale, I think it is going to be a very big challenge because some Accra, you people are not used to Okada motocrossing, you people. We are used to motocrossing here and there. So as soon as you sit in the driving wheel, you are much careful. Even with that, we have some of these accidents. You go to Tamale emergency unit, in fact, it will shock you. So the situation at legalizing Okada, you have the wrath of these people, especially when you people are not familiar, because motorbikes.
Are you against the legalization of it or what?
No, because what we say they shouldn't legalize it, it's already in operational. So it is something that we must legalize.
And they have.
Now, what I have to, my contribution to this, what lesson would they learn from Tamale? You people driving in Accra must now consider Okada people, they have come to stay, whether by law or no law. And you must always drive consciously, because when I get to Accra and I'm driving, the way and manner you people use your car, Accra, you don't consider Okada riders. It's car to car. But northern region here, you are driving and you consider a quarter rider can just come from any angle. So you are driving according to, but not according to law.
Right.
Okay.
That is my submission this morning to you people.
Okay. But again, you probably would have advised them to also obey the traffic lights, the traffic regulation. Here in Accra, they don't obey it. And if you watch the feature, it was about that particular. But we're grateful to you for your inputs there. All right. MFA? our time is probably
done.
Over.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap, you know. Well, okay.
Another person.
Okay.
You?
They said they want to hear your voice, so let's wrap it off with one other caller.
It will be the caller's voice we'd like to hear. Tell me your name and where you're calling from and share your thoughts. Ernest, is that
Kenneth.
you? Kenneth, right. Kenneth, tell me where you're calling from, but tell me your thoughts this morning.
Yeah, I'm speaking from Pristia.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I think the one city to the full, it's very, very recommendable. The government has shown that they are ready to help this nation with this one city. So I think we should all embrace it, and I think it will be much better than what we had last year. But since January to July, we have seen and see how the fuel prices have decreased, and I think that will be the best for this government. So we should recommend this government for what they've done. And I think they'll do more than that as we move on. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, all the way from Pristia. Well, that will be the last caller.
Yeah, exactly. And that will be our show for you today. Thank you for making us part of your morning. Wherever you watched us from, wherever you joined, we're grateful that you could spend this morning with us.
You stay for News Desk with Mamiesi, and as well at 12, join News Today with myself. Have a good one.
We'll meet again, God willing, tomorrow.